A wee disclaimer here, we are not film experts. We're doing this for fun and to try and shine a light on films which are seen as rotten on movie review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, and to poke fun at them as well. It's a chance to highlight that the critical consensus isn't always everything.
We'd also like to remind everyone that we're about to go over all the film's details, including the plot, so there will be spoilers. Also, we just want to mention it's okay to disagree with our opinion. If you do, you can tell us and become part of the discussion. With that in mind, thanks for joining us and enjoy.
Oh, and just a wee reminder that this week's film is a horror slasher movie. As such, we will be talking about horror-related things such as murders and defrosted mindless zombie killer men. Also, I can't quite remember, but there might be some stronger language in this movie. Kat, do you remember?
I don't.
Oh well, listen, there might be some slightly stronger language than usual, but we're not entirely sure.
Yeah, the odd F and Jeff might slip in.
Yeah. Anyway, enjoy. Hello and welcome to Rank Rotten, a Rotten Movies podcast. The podcast that talks about shite films.
That's us.
Well, no, really, because we talk about good films too, but we talk about the films that the critics say are pants.
We do.
And then they might not be, and some folk like them, so they're worth revisiting, and that's why we're doing this.
It is, yeah. That's exactly it in a nutshell.
Aye. Also, I think, sorry, we had a wee gap there, didn't we?
We did.
Kat, was Kat's birthday and she had a lovely time, didn't you?
I did. I turned another year older.
Yeah, we did stuff a whole week.
We did.
A whole week, actually. Just because you were off, really. It was like a wee holiday.
A birthday's never just a day.
Yeah, that's true. And it's a staycation, is what they call it, isn't it?
It was a staycation.
Aye, so we went to the nice cinema up in town, Everyman, the really nice one, but it's like couches and stuff, and we went to see How to Train Your Dragon, which we really liked.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these live action movies that are being put out by Disney they sometimes don't feel like they've got a lot of heart and soul to them. But How to Train Your Dragon just got it right, man.
They did. I was really worried because I really enjoy the originals.
Yeah, man.
But
so
they did
good.
such a
They're
good
like
job.
some of my favourite movies, those 3 movies. But yeah, it did. It had got the feeling. We also saw Jurassic Park Rebirth on your birthday.
We did.
That was an experience.
It was.
Daft, man. Oh, we also got The Substance on Blu-ray. I went and grabbed that when I was at HMV. That was good, man.
It was very good.
It was cool. I was really sort of body horror, quite appropriate to be talking about right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we're doing a horror film today. But yeah, it was really a horror film, is it? Jason X.
Yeah.
But The Substance was gross and I loved it. And everything, the messages that it has, which are very important, I think. I often get really annoyed when you go and see a film that just hammers you across the head by a point and you're like, oh, go and just piss off.
Yeah.
But with this film, it feels like it needs to be said. So I felt like it was done really well.
I think it was done really well, and the story didn't go necessarily in the way you would think. So it was really good at making the point without battering you over head with it in a really interesting and novel way.
So we watched Jason X this week.
We did.
And this was my mystery pick. I'm very excited to talk about it because it was a film I watched a lot as a young'un with my brother. Because it was around that time I started to get into all the other Friday the 13th movies and stuff. But before we get right into about the movie, I'd like to actually just talk about the rest of the season, because we said we were going to do a 12-episode season, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Well, we decided to change our minds.
Of course we did.
Well, aye, because there doesn't really seem to be a point in doing 2 smaller seasons between now and the end of the year. And I was just kind of like, why don't we just do a season a year?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
I think we should.
So we're just going to do a season a year and do as many episodes as we do.
Yeah.
We may, after the year, change to every 2 weeks, because it's actually been quite difficult to have that 10 runny episodes 10 weeks in a row there. With Twilight last week being the 10th episode. Woo!
I thought that would break you.
We had that good run. So and then it's like stuff. So Kat had her birthday. I wasn't very well, and Kat and I's lifestyle sometimes means we have to kind of cancel stuff and plans and tickets to things that we've got and everything. So, this isn't really an exception to that.
No, it's not.
So we thought we're just going to do that. So what we're going to do is we'll have this episode, we'll have next week's episode, and then after that we'll have a wee break until about October. Yeah. And then we'll come back between October to Christmas.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Aye, and then we'll have a wee break again.
Yeah.
And then we'll start day again next year, as many as we want next year. So that's how it'll be, a wee bit more fast and loose, but you will know where episodes are coming out because we will tell you.
Yeah. We're going to have a short intermission over the summer.
So I just wanted to get that out of the way because I just wanted everybody to know what the plans are from here on out and what we're planning to do. So that's what we're going to do. So Jason X, as the title suggests, is the 10th in a series. And that series is Friday the 13th, isn't it?
It is.
Listen, I think most of them are rotten and I want to do a lot of them. But I wanted to start with Jason X, which is a weird thing to do, but it's just because a few people had asked for it.
Okay.
We've had requests for this. I had a conversation with my brother for this as well.
Yeah, I see that Pete's come up with a few other suggestions as well, which is great.
Yeah, he has. He's been chatting to us about suggestions, hasn't he?
He has.
So, yeah, lots of great ideas coming. But yeah, so I'm going to run through the plot of every Friday the 13th from 1 to 9 right now.
Oof,
Just
right.
It's going to take probably about another 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours. Is that cool?
I think that's a podcast in itself. So yeah, enjoy the episode, folks. I'm waiting for tea.
What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to just give you a wee idea of what happened just before this film came out, but also the run up to it, right? Here's basically every Friday the 13th and the year it came out, and I'll tell you roughly what I can each one, right? Friday the 13th is the original film, where it's the one that people really enjoy, and the one that people see as a categorically pretty good film.
I would agree.
Pretty solid film, even though it's a slasher, 80s slasher, it's a pretty well-made movie, right? We had Friday, so that was 1980. We had Friday the 13th Part 2, which was the Rucksack Heed one, right? And that was in 1981, so that was the year after. Then, the year after that, 1982, we had Part 3, so they went 3 years in a row, right?
Impressive. Also, they tend to be kind of smaller films, right? Where it was like quite a closed setting, like, it was all very much based around the summer camp.
That's right. So the Friday the 13th first one was a summer camp. I believe the second one, I think it was too. The third one, there was a barn in that as well. I can't remember.
No, I remember that one.
That's the one where he gets the mask. There's a guy playing practical jokes on everybody, and he kills that guy, chucks on the hockey mask, and then it was his forever.
An icon.
Aye.
Was born.
Friday the 13th, the final chapter, was 1984. And I think this is when we started to get the whole Tommy Jarvis storyline going on. So he kicks about for a bit, right? The next again year, 1985, we had Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. So we had the final chapter and then we had A New Beginning.
Okay.
Part 6 was 1986 and that was Jason Lives.
Again.
There's one of these movies, one of those, which I didn't enjoy. Because I'm pretty sure it's like there's like a copycat killer or something like that.
Oh dear.
Or it goes through this whole weird, it's an odd storyline, and it wasn't Friday the 13th to me.
Right.
But I could be making this up because I've not watched them all for a long time. I only watched 3 and then like 7 and then like, you know what I mean? There's specific ones I actually watch all the time.
Yeah, there's some you've seen much more than others.
Aye, totally. So I just can't remember. Then we had Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, where there was a lassie that used telekinetic powers to like fight him and that.
Okay.
And then we had Jason Takes Manhattan Part 8, which was 1989 after that.
I love the fact that he's just not in Manhattan.
He's not in Manhattan. So false advertising. If you think you're going to get Jason in Manhattan, you're going to get Jason on a boat.
Yeah. A very slow journey to Manhattan.
Very, very slow. And then, right, in 1993, we had Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
How many Final Fridays have we had?
I don't know, but I wasn't a fan of that. I saw that when I was a kid and I did not enjoy. And basically that one is one where he sort of he gets blown up, but then his spirit starts to like possess people.
Oh dear.
And then it goes from person to person and it's just bizarre. And then like the Necronomicon Ex Mortis from the friggin' Evil Dead's in it. And then like the Freddy's glove grabs Jason's mask at the end.
Okay.
So that was supposed to lead into Freddy versus Jason, but it didn't. And then Jason X came out in 2002.
There's a bit of debate about that as well.
Oh yeah, I know, because it came out in 2001 in Spain, but only Spain. Only Spain, mind.
Well, actually, Europe.
Was it?
Yeah.
So we must have had it then too then.
Yeah. So
That's
North America got it in 2002.
The official date I've found in several places is 2002 for that reason, I think.
Yeah.
Part 9 was supposed to usher Freddy's arrival for Freddy vs. Jason. We were going to do it. New Line Cinema had got their shit in order to get the licensing all sorted and this was going to happen. That was the idea. The guy that was sort of running the whole thing at the time was Sean S. Cunningham, right? And he was like the series creator, right? And Freddy vs. Jason basically ended up going into like development hell is what they call it, and that's just like the movie's just not going anywhere.
Oh no.
They're trying to develop it, they're trying to write this, they're rewriting that, this doesn't like this, that person doesn't like this, it gets changed. Jimmy for the shop wasn't happy with the script, like it just like that's development hell. It just it gets caught and it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't develop. So they basically wanted another film to make sure Jason didn't leave the public consciousness is the whole point. Not really probably realising at this point they already had countless fans across the world from the previous friggin' 9 installments. And these films are huge. Everybody kens who Jason is, even if they didn't ken who Friday the 13th.
Yes.
But Friday the 13th itself is a huge franchise. Every time you see these what are they called, conventions, you see those, it's like, the folk are there for Friday the 13th. Like, it's got its fans massively. So it was already in the consciousness. So, but then maybe, the advent of the internet and everything kind of has an effect on that, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And these days, things like being part of some video games can also reignite people's people's awareness of certain characters. Like, if you're in Mortal Kombat or if you're in Fortnite.
I think it's also that people, it's easier to access movies now.
It is.
So folk are watching stuff all over the frickin' world.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at Finnish cinema the other day because we were going to Finland, and I was like, I will watch some just because I've never seen any, and there are loads and you can get them very easily.
Oh, cool. I didn't know this.
Do you see what I'm saying? So like,
and I think you're more likely to give stuff a try that you wouldn't do. Like if you were going to buy a DVD or a Blu-ray or whatever, it's much more of a commitment.
$2.99 on it on Prime or something.
Yeah. Or
Prime
if something's
Video.
on Netflix, you'll put it on, watch the first 10 minutes, and
because you're already paying for the subscription, so you'll bloody watch it whatever's there. And and these films have been on those circles. It's been on Paramount Plus, So Todd Farmer was then asked to write Jason X, right? And basically he was like, we're going to take him to space.
I think it was the only place they could go. They've already been to hell.
Yep.
Where else do you take the franchise?
I know, and it happens to a lot of franchises. It happened to Critters, although Critters are kind of aliens. So. And then it happened with obviously with Hellraiser.
And Leprechaun as well.
Leprechaun I liked that one.
Did you?
It's bonkers, man. It's bonkers. It's like a space princess and all that. It's crazy.
Okay.
But it was fun.
Interesting. Cause
I bet if when we revisit, I'm imagining, I'll be like, this sucks.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think...
Because I certainly felt a wee bit like that with Jason X, I'll tell you.
I think a lot of people see the journey into space as a bit of a death knell for certain franchises.
But then I'm like, it makes me go, here we go.
Yeah.
But even Kane Hodder, who plays Jason in this movie and a few others, he wasn't happy with the script either.
I don't think I'd be terribly happy with the script after watching it.
No, well, I mean, I know. He's probably, this is pants, man. Wait till you see it. I wonder what his reaction was. To make it stand out, they decided to put a lot of self-aware humour into it and sort of general campness sort of thing,
Yeah, I think that's quite a smart move.
Basically as well, right, the film was kind of late to the party because it was filmed in 2000. Didn't come out to 2002. By that time, things had already moved on. It was riding the coattails of like the Scream franchise and all the rest of it, and it didn't do well. The film didn't do well.
That's a shame.
I know. And as far as I could gather from this gent's article, it had worse reviews than the previous instalment, which was the wild one with the body swapping and all the rest of it.
Oh dear.
You know what I'm saying? So, by the way, that was from Bloody Disgusting. I got a lot of that information. A guy called Trace Thurman that writes for them. And he pretty much openly said at the end of the article, I got most of this information from the Crystal Lake Memories documentary. Anyway, that's enough for Jason. Let's go into some details about Jason X before we dive into this bonkers batshit storyline.
Let's do it.
So Jason X came out on the 26th of April 2002 in North America, and in summer 2001 for Europe.
Seems like a bit of a mess to begin with.
The runtime was an hour and 32 minutes. It had a budget of only 11 to 14 million.
That is not a lot of money, even in 2002.
It's no. I did a bit of looking into that whole thing, by the way, when there's a range, and it just sort of means that, I can't remember if I said this on a previous episode, but it just means that there's an estimate. They didn't care how much they spent, or we don't know how much they spent.
Yeah, there's no official figure.
Totally. And at the box office, it made 17.1, so it made a wee profit, but no as much as they wanted, I don't think.
Yeah, not a blockbuster by any means. So this movie was directed by James Isaac, and as we've said, it was written by Todd Farmer. The production studio was Crystal Lake Entertainment. And is this based on a book? It absolutely is not. It's never been near a book in its life. This movie had a couple of taglines.
It's Mark Twain shit right here.
It is. It's
Mark Twain's Adventures at Crystal Lake. I'd read that.
In space.
I know, in space. Oh man, can you imagine though? Kind of we've had like Pride, Prejudice and Zombies coming off Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn and Jason at Crystal Lake. That'd be great.
There's something in that.
There is. Like, I would write it, but I'll get sued.
The tagline for this movie is "Evil gets an upgrade."
I remember that.
Do you?
Yeah, I remember it for the film coming out. I remember Evil gets an upgrade being the thing, and I was like, it's going to get upgraded.
Who knows?
Or uploaded, as the case may be. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Right.
Beyond silly.
The synopsis we have for this one is Jason Voorhees is cryogenically frozen at the beginning of the 21st century and is discovered in the 25th century and taken to space. It sounds like I'm taking the mick. I'm no.
This sounds like a fever dream.
He gets thawed and begins stalking and killing the crew of the spaceship that's transporting him. That's like me getting on the bus and murdering the driver.
Maybe a bit more fantasyful, given it's in space, but for all intents and purposes, yeah. The space bus.
Space bus. So the tomahawk.
Say tomato.
Tomato.
Meter.
Tomato meter. Tomatometer.
Tomatometer.
The tomatometer.
What's wrong with you?
Anyway, 20%. The critics give it 20%, right?
Yep. The popcorn meter gives it a only marginally higher score of 25%.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Crikey, eh?
And cinema score gives this a C grading.
Oh.
So just pass.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah.
I would have gave this at least a B plus when I left. Maybe even more. Because I know they left having a great time.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I'll keep my opinion to myself until we talk about it later.
That's true. We've got to talk about the plot first.
We do. Let's tell you about this madcap story of space and slaughter.
Space and slaughter! Excuse me. So our movie opens on a hellscape that turns into images of someone taking samples from the body of Jason and restraining him. It's very weird. I thought it was hell, basically, like it says there, and like there was like an eye and there was like injections and there was bloods and there was knives and there was like, hey. And I'm just like, and the whole time I'm like, we didn't need to have an intro.
Yeah, it felt very long.
It did.
And also it kind of had a very Buffy-esque vibe to it at points, where like the music was quite similar and the graphics quality was quite similar.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like Buffy when it first started.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that was a sign of what we were in for.
It's a brutal opener
To
a movie. In the futuristic year of 2008. You wrote that, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah, I added that in.
Right. The futuristic year of 2008, mass murderer Jason Voorhees has been captured by the United States government. He was captured by the United States government and held at the Crystal Lake Research Facility. By 2010, after numerous failed attempts to kill Jason, the government scientist Rowan LaFontaine, head of the facility, suggests putting him in cryogenic stasis.
Not a bad suggestion.
So yeah, this last Rowan, she's played by Lexa Doig, and I recognised her immediately, man.
I think I recognised her from a terrible TV series called Andromeda.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, and I think she played like, and this might be wrong, the ship's kind of AI system.
Well, she was in Andromeda. I can see that now.
Okay.
She was, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got I think that might be her.
But I feel like I know her face for various other things, so I feel like she's probably been in quite a lot.
Yeah, like I think we looked it up as well and we saw that she was in Stargate.
Yeah, she was in Stargate too, and I watched that a bit because my mum liked Stargate. So
I liked Stargate too.
You know, SG-1.
Yeah.
And the movie with Kurt Russell.
Have you ever seen the movie?
Yeah, it's great.
It's really good.
Super great. I loved it. I loved it as a kid. I've not seen it for probably since, so
yeah,
we should list that one. Not for this, but because I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Kat and I also have a movie list that isn't Rank Rotten related, by the way.
No, just a list of
just movies we fancy watching.
Yeah. Can we also talk about how on the nose it is with the Crystal Lake Research Facility?
Yeah, you burst out laughing immediately at that.
Yeah, especially it had that really cheesy text pop up.
Yeah.
To describe
Crystal Lake Research Facility. And I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. And I'm like, do you think they've just built this treatment centre just for Jason to keep him there?
It seems like
Why not move him somewhere else?
Yeah.
Or is that maybe proven difficult? So they caught him in like a box, like a pigeon, and then they just built the facility around him.
I think that's exactly what's happened.
Is it just me that used to try and catch pigeons as a child with boxes?
Yes, we've covered this before.
I know, I'm sorry. I did like to do that when I was a child. I never caught one, and if I did, I reckon what I'd have done. Just been like, let it loose. No idea. But anyway, perhaps that is how they got him there. I don't know.
Maybe.
But he gets the budgie treatment in any case.
He does.
Right. Did you see this?
Yes, I did see this.
Reminds me of that brown blanket my mum used to put over Tango's cage.
Why did it have to be brown?
I don't know. It was just jolly brown blanket she had. She used to chuck over the cage because for the budgie would go to sleep or whatever. I don't know. But it was But Tango was cool, but he flew the window and escaped. I was on the way back from school one day and I saw Mum waving a brown jobby blanket out the window. I'm like, what is going on? Whoever's there, Tango had got out. And I think she was just trying to catch him or trying to attract him back or something. But Tango was gone and we never saw him again. And I was like, what's going to happen to him now? Mum's like, yes, oh no.
Why did you
He's
try to tell
basically
him?
killed by a seagull, so he probably was killed.
Yeah.
I was going to say he's probably dead now, but I mean, I'd imagine he is.
I would imagine, 20 years later.
He was probably dead 20 minutes later, but
Yeah.
but he was great. I loved it. But anyway, so this situation immediately reminded me of Tango.
But yes, I also noted that Jason was being treated like a budgie.
Why did he put a blanket over his tank thing?
So I think, we've not quite described the scene you're seeing here, and it's Jason is being held in this big, dark, concrete room where the only light is on him. And he's in chains and he's got the mask on and everything. And there's one solitary guard in this room with Jason.
And he's basically getting freaked out by him, so he throws a blanket over him.
Basically, yeah. So he's in this kind of gunner compartment. It's like concrete with this little slit.
Yeah, but I think it's in case he moves so they can shoot him and then he won't die. So
I think that's exactly it. So it's a bit useless. But yeah, Jason keeps looking at the guard, and I think that's why the guard's like, I'm just going to cover
throw
you.
and tango you.
Yeah, you've been
No,
tangled.
actual slap. Sorry.
Wow, that's an old reference.
Is that
right?
a local thing or no?
I'm not sure.
To be tangoed was to run up to somebody and slap either side of their face.
Oh,
That
right.
was tangos.
See, I always
Probably many
I only know
times.
the reference from somebody having a really bad tan.
Well, I seem to remember people getting tangoed, and then the idea was that you slapped them so hard on each cheek they got big red cheeks.
Oh, right.
Maybe I made that up, and also that's why like Tango was called Tango because he had bright red cheeks.
Oh, I just thought it was a nice name.
Nah, he was cute.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling.
It's all right. I fancy getting another one, but then I feel like I don't know. I'm not sure. We've got enough going on. We've got a dog,
Exactly.
and he demands a lot of attention.
He's very demanding.
Dr. Wimmer and Sergeant Marcus arrive with soldiers and stop the cryogenic freezing procedure, hoping to sort of research further Jason's ability to heal from lethal wounds, as they believe it involves rapid cellular regeneration and that it can be replicated. And I'll say this, right? I agree with him.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad plan.
You can study him, although I feel like it's supernatural. So I feel like we can't really learn anything from him because he's some sort of supernatural zombie ghost being. I don't know. Right?
But everything's got to have like physics behind it to some point.
True. Well, maybe. I don't know. But Jason has been, everything has happened to Jason. Jason has been electrocuted, he's been stabbed, he's been cut, everything's happened to him in those 9 movies we've had so far.
You might say he's been to hell and back.
Whey!
Oh.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you. There's one point here where Dr. Wimmer, I believe, says, I want him soft.
Yeah, he does say that, eh? I don't get what that means. I was like, what?
Unfrozen, I think. Because they're going to cryogenically freeze him. And he's like, nah, I want
Does
him
he
soft.
mean like when you scoop ice cream and it's too hard, you've got to wait for a minute?
I think that's exactly it.
Cool. No, I totally understand then.
Also, I get the impression that Jason's just always soft anyway. He gives me the impression that he'd be gooey
He's
at all
goopy
times.
and gooey, and there's some very gross stuff that happens with Jason throughout all the movies, and you see Jason in various states of decay and other things throughout the 9 films, which I would like to watch all the way through, if that's all right.
Okay.
Honestly, Kat, they're like some of my favourites. Do you know what? It's one of these things where you chuck one of those movies on, I just feel all cosy and comfy, and I'm like, oh yes, this is what I used to do when I was getting in for the night when I was a bairn.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's the same with like Child's Play as well, like, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think there's a comfort there for them or something. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It sounds weird. I think other horror people out there will understand what I'm saying. Then others will just think that I'm not quite right.
I think you're probably right. And I'm firmly in the camp that of both.
All right, okay. So you're not firmly in either camp.
Yeah, no, I think people will understand, and it makes sense for that to be your cozy movie.
Yeah.
And that is sometimes a little bit odd, because especially when you talk about seeing these as a child.
Yeah.
That's not
But
necessarily
I don't
normal.
think Mum and Dad knew though, because Pete would tape them. So like Pete would tape them and then let me see them, and I'd watch them. This is my first thing, other than Korn at the time, who I was mad into their music, and I got right into metal music. This was the first thing I felt part of.
Oh, okay.
Was horror films, because there was other folk out there that kind of liked them too. So maybe that's what it is too. Maybe there's an element of that. I don't know. I've just kind of thought of that just now. Jason breaks free of his restraints and he murders the soldiers and Dr. Wimmer, and then he chases Rowan through the facility, right? And then Rowan lures him into the cryogenic pod and pushes him into it using canisters of gas. And just as she thinks he's being frozen, Jason ruptures the pod with his machete and stabs her right in the abdomen, like, yeah, right through, and you see it come right through the machine.
You do.
And then basically, so that means somehow the cryogenic fluid then freezes the whole room. Kind of like that episode of SpongeBob where he leaves the fridge open.
I don't think I've
freezer.
seen this one.
Right, oh man, he leaves it open and overnight, and then he gets up and he slips or whatever, and he realises his whole like kitchen's been turned into like an ice rink, and just has the best time.
Oh, nice.
Like it's a class episode. But that's what that made me think. And I'm like, is that the same sort of? Is that what the same level of science we're talking?
I think it is, because I didn't have a dissimilar thought.
Right.
Where all I could think of is that this is like the start of Futurama.
Well, that's true as well.
Yeah, that Fry falls into the cryogenic chamber,
Yeah.
and then that's it. I couldn't help but draw the comparison.
So was it just me then?
Mm-mm.
So I said to you as well, for this one, I was going to do something that I was excited to do because I'm a little horror nerd, and do a kill count.
Oh, that's right.
All right. So yeah, so that it makes 4 kills for Jason already.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Kill count.
4? That's not bad for the
But yeah,
first
he
10
does
minutes.
4. He does 4 at once. So it's pretty good off the bat. It's pretty good. And I will say, I've seen a lot of slashers before where there's not that many murders. And when you're a horror fan and you're watching a slasher film, you want to see the most bonkers murders ever. That's why movies like Final Destination are so popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to see that. You know what I'm saying? So that if it's a higher count, you're like, it's just like the 2 guys in League of Gentlemen. How many killings?
I was just going to say.
How many killings?
How many
him.
killings? Yeah.
If you've watched League of Gentlemen, or if you haven't, or if you're not familiar with it, do. It's great. It's horror, comedy, sketches that are all about this strange little town called Royston Vasey.
Very dark.
And it's very dark. Very dark. Anyway, those 2 guys are hilarious. The guys that are always going to the video shop and just looking at all the movies to see the ones that have got more murders in them, kind of thing. That's the kind of kid I was turning into at that point, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Not a dissimilar adult.
Nah. Well, no.
At this point, I wrote down that this feels very much like a TV movie.
Yeah, it does. Immediately, the whole vibe, the way it looks, the way it feels, and the music. Now, bearing in mind, the music for this movie, I don't know if he did it all, was Harry Manfredini. Now, Harry Manfredini is a kind of renowned horror composer, specific to horror films of the time as well. So he's done quite a lot. If you look at his CV, but he did loads. He did like the original Friday the 13th, and then like a lot of the sequels anyway, or all the sequels. He done like the Swamp Thing movie from the 80s as well. He did House. Have you seen House? Which was it's the mad film about the writer that goes to a house to try and write, and he's trying to get over grief of losing, I think, family members. I can't remember, maybe his son. And the house is kind of like got these mad monsters that are coming into it, and it's weird. It's all like puppetry and that. It's kind of wild and kind of out there. And I remember buying it as a kid and getting excited to watch it, and it wasn't what I expected. But I was like, still watched it again and again. So like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's good. But he's done loads of horror, basically.
Scream King.
But if you listen to some of the stuff he's done, it's very good. Like, but he's the guy that's responsible for the and all the other music that you know. He's a jazz musician too, I think, as well. So knew his stuff. But yeah, I noticed the music when this one didn't feel like his other stuff at all. I also was like, she doesn't really feel like she's in much of a rush here.
No.
Nah. She's getting chased and she's just kind of not really moving that fast, not really that bothered. It's weird.
It's a very odd chase sequence where she's kind of like just ambling about.
But when she gets stabbed, she goes, "Oh God, no!" as well.
Yes, very.
And then we get the universal sign that she's frozen, and her wee eyebrows go off frosty.
Yeah, stay frosty. So we move forward in time to the year 2455. The Earth is so polluted that it can't support life anymore, and humans have moved to a new planet, Earth 2. So nice.
Real original, guys.
Yeah.
Could you not call it something cool like the Rasgor or something?
I would love to move to Rasgor. I think it's better than Earth 2.
Aye. It sounds more sort of fantasy oriented, like Azeroth, Rasgor. They kind of go together.
Yeah, I think that works quite well.
I'd move to Azeroth. Dangerous place, though.
Dangerous place indeed. So Earth 1 is so polluted that it can't support life, but you can go on a field trip to it.
Yeah, if you're a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
Aren't they from our school, our Ivy League school, but on Earth 2, I believe?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't note any of that down.
I don't know what Ivy League friggin' means. I'm just regurgitating shite that I've heard in movies.
I've only seen that on TV series. I don't really know what it means.
Not me either.
People are on a field trip to Earth 1, and Professor Brandon Lowe, his android companion KM14, intern Adrian Thomas, and students Sarian, Janessa, Azriel, Kinsa, Waylander, and Stoney are exploring the abandoned Crystal Lake Research Facility. Whew. So yeah, the professor and the students are on their field trip into this research facility, and they find the frozen Jason and Rowan together in this facility.
Da-da-da-da.
And then they proceed to take them onto their spaceship, the Grendel. And they do make comment about when these samples were from.
Probably a cryostasis unit. I'd guess early port series. KM?
Quadport 11, manufactured in 2010. Precise historic records are inconsistent.
Yeah, so okay.
Yeah, so that confirms the futuristic 2010 that we have cryostasis.
Oh, good. That's good to know, but why do we not know about it right now?
Well, there's all those theories out there that it does exist and that just we are not told about it.
It could be.
That Walt Disney and Elvis are all cryogenically frozen.
Just they two.
Yeah, and maybe Tupac. And the students do have some questions about what was happening at the time, including Jason's garb.
What the hell is that? Humanoid. Organic composition is unclear.
Can someone tell me what's on his face?
Some kind of 20th century carbon filtration unit?
It's a hockey mask. Very good, Cineron.
What's a hockey mask? Facial armor, used in a sport outlawed in 2024.
Here, I'm just going to say, I was outraged when hockey was outlawed last year.
Me too. I really miss it.
Bring back hockey.
Yeah, let's start a campaign.
And while they're trying to transport Jason, Jason attacks Azrael, but he's not been defrosted yet. He just sort of falls and his blade kind of cuts off the guy's arm.
Yeah, I feel kind of sorry for Jason because this is probably an unintentional injury.
Well, I mean, he's no so bad then, I guess.
Yeah, that makes up for the previous
Mass
9
murder,
films.
yeah. Or whatever the correct term is, I don't know. Multiple murder, I don't know. But anyway, they use nanotech on his arm as well. So we have Marvel level nanotech going on here.
We do have the introduction of the fabulous future of nanotech.
Basically, the Jason X to the first before Tony Stark, so take that.
Yeah, take that, Tony. In my notes, I've written down that if it was casted today, that Azrael would be played by Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard's the lead guy in Stranger Things, or the central character, I guess.
Yeah, he's Mike. So I think the two of them are not dissimilar looking.
Also, it had me thinking, right, that when we see the Earth, it had me thinking grimdark, right? And it had me thinking 40k, because that's what it looked like to me. So I read a book on Rob's recommendation, actually, which was Hell's Reach, and it was about a hive city, which is like this big city in the year 40,000. And it's about that. And it's like on a planet called Armageddon, I think it's Armageddon. And it looked, and in my head, the way it looked like that, like a wasteland.
Yeah,
with like orangey, reddy colour. And
so the team head back to the Grendel with Jason and Rowan in tow. They go about beginning to bring Rowan out of stasis using this nanotechnology. So she's taken into sort of central lab space. And they all just take Jason's body to the morgue because they believe he is dead.
I'm pretty sure when they're bringing I can't remember, the pilot's a total pig. He's like, oh yeah, when he sees Rowan, and that's really gross.
He is really gross.
I was just like, oh, he's going to get murdered.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a set of rules for Friday the 13th. Don't do drugs, don't have sex, don't be a dick, or you'll get murdered. And then even if you're not one of those things, you might get murdered. But
okay.
if you are one of those things, you're 100% getting murdered.
That's fair, I think. And it's really...
Spoiler, he gets murdered.
Also, when Professor Lowe comes into the sort of lab with the nanotech in it,
Aye.
he immediately goes like, right, where are we? And that really annoys me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you've done none of the work. And now you're expecting me to be like, oh, we've done all of it.
It annoys you because we've dealt with people like that in our working lives.
My whole career.
But it's like, at this point, you'd said earlier, I noticed how bad this thing looked, and I was like, the Orville looks way better than this. I know the Orville was later, but the Orville was TV.
Exactly. I had the exact same thought.
We
Love
don't
the
finish
Orville.
that, and it's banging.
It's so good. We need to get on it.
And I also wrote here that Azrael has cool hair.
Azrael does have cool hair.
It's
Very
wild.
large.
He's got like dreads, and then he's got like longer dreads at the back, like a sort of giant rat tail.
Yeah, he's
tail.
like a modern day Dave Lister. There's also a really obscene scene here of where they're cutting off Rowan's pants, and I didn't appreciate that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Her grotty old frozen pants from 2010.
Again, she's had them on for ages.
Yeah, not a fan. I also noted down here that the audio quality was pretty poor.
Aye.
But I think it was just a sign of the shoestring budget they had for this film. So they bring Rowan out of stasis using the nanotech ants.
The nanants.
The nanants.
Nanants.
So yeah, it's weird they mentioned they're like actual ants.
Yeah.
It was very
You see them
confusing.
like zoomed in, like fake zoomed in with crappy effects, and it's like, oh, they're ants.
Yeah, and then they zoom back out, and for some reason Rowan is in chainmail.
Yeah. And so it kind of sews her into chainmail.
So one of the students, Adrienne, is ordered to dissect Jason's dead body. And while this is happening, Rowan is talking to the Professor and warns them of the danger, revealing Jason's history and his superhuman abilities.
Yeah, she's totally freaking out.
She is. Professor Lowe, when he's talking to Rowan, asks her about her last moments.
Want to tell me what happened down there? I take it being stabbed and frozen wasn't part of your plan. He's a nurse.
He's the worst.
You mentioned Adrienne in the morgue sort of room, and it doesn't look like a morgue, it looks like a lab, a space lab. But she's in there. There's the other couple, and I don't know who it is. It's one of the young lasses and one of the guys, and they're standing next to Jason's body, just like basically shagging, right? And it's like, right, just go away. Like, firstly, this guy's dead and gross, and why are you doing this? Go away. It's weird.
Yeah, it's all very odd.
And she's just like, can you just go away? And he's like, oh, really? She's like, I just want you the hell out of here. Please leave.
That would 100%
I'd be the same.
Yeah.
I'd be like, also, I'm reporting you to the government. Or somebody, I don't know who. Go and report you. Sorry.
You're such a snitch.
But then I thought to myself that this is an example of being self-aware. Doing that whole part is an example of self-awareness, because they're poking fun already at previous installments of this movie franchise.
Yes, it is very on brand for the Friday the 13th.
We'll just make this couple absolutely make out for no reason.
Yeah.
At all. Other than for that reason. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah.
And we also see a bit of foreshadowing, because we see a nice shot of the liquid nitrogen, wondering if that's going to come into play at some point.
We do.
And also I was thinking at this point, theoretically, shouldn't Rowan have some form of cryosickness? If we're talking science fiction, I feel like should have cryosickness.
When we were watching the movie, we did make a joke about this. We were talking about Han Solo getting hibernation sickness.
Aye, exactly. And I'm also like, listen, mate, right? Let's not even be around the bush here. I'm still recovering from a coma I was in 2022.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to be able to just spring up
So
and
you're
walk
not going
about.
to be like, how many 100 years is it? Just spring out and be like, I'm fine, but I've been stabbed, but I'm all right.
Yeah, and like you could forgive, like in a cryostasis chamber, you could forgive.
Maybe it's different because your body's all still and frozen. It's
exactly. It's designed for you to be immobile for a very long time. But Rowan was literally crumpled on the floor.
That's it. No muscle wastage for her.
Nope. So we see that Professor Lowe makes a call to somebody. A Teams call is what I've referred to it as.
It is. It is basically.
Basically.
Teams call before Teams calls existed.
Exactly. So futuristic. And it transpires that Lowe seems to be in some serious debt. And that...
No surprises, he feels like a bit of a snake, a bit of a rat.
He does. He's got very rat-like qualities. But it doesn't help that Professor Lowe is also in Ginny and Georgia. He is the racist English teacher in that.
Oh, man. I remember seeing those episodes. I didn't realise it was him. I got so annoyed.
He's terrible.
Got so annoyed.
Yeah.
I've only seen clips of that show. It's not as good as Gilmore Girls. But you shouldn't compare the two because they're very different.
They are very different.
But people do compare them for some reason.
Well,
just because there's similar themes.
Yeah, and they do make jokes about it.
Yeah, I don't think you can compare the two. They're very different.
Yeah.
So for me, you say one's better than the other. Stupid.
Stupid.
So
yeah, it turns out the guy he's on the phone to is his financial backer, Dieter Perez, or Dieter. Take your pick.
I don't know. I thought it was Dieter, and I thought that's a bit strange.
Unclear.
And the only reason we know the guy's name is because it's in the bloody breakdown. I didn't know who his name was. I didn't know who anybody's name was in this.
No, there was very few characters that you got to know well enough to know their name.
There was one called Bronsky, I think, later on. I remember him.
Yeah, I think it's Brodsky.
Oh,
but I kept calling him Bronsky.
Oh, right.
Because I kept saying Bronsky beat.
Right, okay.
But I did think it was Bronsky at the time, and I only realised it was Brodsky when we were doing the breakdown.
Okay. And then there's Jason, I know him. And Rowan.
That is all you need to know.
Oh, and the pilot Clutch or Crunch or whatever, Crunchy or whatever his name is. Okay,
I think it's Crutch.
Is it? All right, him.
No.
I called him Bando for the whole movie when we were watching it because I didn't know the guy's name and he was wearing a bandana.
Well, there you go. That's good enough. He was not wearing a bandeau top, thank God.
What's that?
It's basically a strapless top.
It should be. That would be class.
Oh, hideous. Anyway, it turns out that this financial backer is on a nearby space station called the Solaris. While they're talking, they mention selling some DVDs.
Yeah, DVDs. He says something about DVDs, and I'm like, is that another nod at just being like, oh, DVDs are old hat now because it's the future or whatever?
Yeah, it's strange.
It's random as hell.
Very odd.
I always thought that when I was a kid. I said that to you. I was like, he mentions DVDs. I actually thought he said EVDs when I was a kid.
Oh.
Because I thought it was something futuristic. But no, he's talking about DVDs.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Anyway.
But I guess it'd be a historic item then.
I think they're trying to be funny, and I was just like, I don't care, it's so stupid.
Yeah, just leave it. And then while they're chatting, Lowe mentions that they have found this body and that it's Jason Voorhees. And Perez's ears totally prick up and he recognises the name and notes that his body could interest a collector.
Yeah. And it's like, he actually is talking about who needs money. That guy, what's his name?
Professor Lowe.
Him. He's like that. I need money. And then And he's talking about reanimation. He's like, oh, I've got this girl and she's failed like ages ago. And he's like, reanimation's old hat now. And I'm just like thinking of Jurassic Park because we've just seen that. And the whole idea in Jurassic Park, is that the public interest in dinosaurs completely wanes. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
There's that bit about the new one with the dinosaur just walking down the middle of like Manhattan or something. People have spray painted on it and that. Like, do you remember this?
I don't remember the spray paint on the
There's
dinosaur.
spray paint on it, right?
Aww.
And it's like, and you're like, so it's the same idea.
I think
There's this new thing and then it just dropped like a hot tatty. It's weird.
yeah, he basically
What is
was
wrong with
saying-
humans?
I know, we're terrible.
These things
eh?
are amazing and you should appreciate them.
He was basically saying everybody and their ma has been reanimated. It's not a big deal.
Then it goes into a bit of a Voorhees history lesson as well.
Yeah, I thought it was
Wasn't
quite...
as good as mine, but
It definitely wasn't as good as yours, but I thought this was quite a nice way to try and cover what's happened in the franchise so far.
yeah, you can introduce, you've got new people coming in. So it's a good idea to do a kind of a roundup. Quick one.
It's absolutely necessary because like X might be your first one. They also mentioned during this interaction that Jason has a 200 plus kill count for the whole of his time on Earth.
This needs to be fact checked.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do it right now.
And when
Maybe
you
further
do,
than after the season break, I'll have a look at it.
that seems more realistic, especially because you've got 10 films to watch. 9
Oh yeah,
before?
no, I know, but I can find the information elsewhere. Like there's YouTube channels dedicated to this cat. I'm a horror fan. Come on.
Yeah, sounds like it'd be more fun to collect the primary data
It would,
yourself.
actually, that's a good idea. Maybe we should do that over the break, and then when we come back, we'll be like, right, we've watched them all. This is how many people die. That'd be class.
Yeah, because as we'll probably cover later on, we had a bit of debate as to whether some counted as part of the kill count, some
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah, I don't know. We can talk about it in a minute. So we see the autopsy happening again, and actually, at this point, Adrienne's doing the autopsy. There's some really cool practical stuff going on here with the body and the autopsy, and it's really cool. We also get around this time the professor guy, Lowe. Aye, he's like one of the young lassies comes in who's clearly a student, and she's like, "Oh, it's time for you to look at my papers" or something like that. It's all very porny.
Yeah.
And then they end up like, I'm not going to kink shame.
No.
But she squeezes his nippies very hard with some sort of tool.
Yeah,
And he's loving it. He loves the nippy squeezing.
he does, yeah. It's
Ecstatic for nippy squeezing.
you got to pass the time somehow in space.
That's it. So she's clearly bribing him to get good grades. So, another shitty person, you're going to get murdered.
Yep.
Then we go back to the autopsy and we see some more gloopy goopus blood dripping off the side of the thing, and it's gross.
Yeah, he's very gooey.
And then we get more nippy fun time because we see Senator and he's trying to help KM14 because she's a robot and she doesn't have any nippies.
I know, poor robot, no nipples.
So she wants nips, and then he's trying to stick them on with blue tack or something, and they could fall off, and it's like, oh, that's not really worked.
I think this is beyond silly
How?
for many reasons, but what I've just thought
This
of...
scene started and the look on your face when you saw that, you were like, what is going on? Like, you knew she was an android, we know, right? It's obvious.
Yeah, it's obvious.
But the fact is, it's like, why has she not got any nippies? Well, why are we seeing, why is this important?
I'm sorry, but we gave Batman, aka Val Kilmer, aka George Clooney, nipples.
Yeah.
But we didn't, nobody thought to develop an android with nipples. So he tries to give her little temporary nips, right?
They just fall off.
I think the best way to attach the nipples would be magnets.
Like I say, it looks like he uses blue tack, and it does not work.
It does not.
And obviously, if she's an android, magnets.
Yeah.
Duh.
Unless it might interfere with the circuitry.
Maybe make her all be like, meh.
Just a Sharpie will do then.
Just to hammer home the point again, if you have sex in one of these movies, you're probably going to die. There's a couple doing so, and just as the gentleman's about to climax, it cuts to Jason, and he sits up.
Yeah, he does.
It's hilarious.
With some
you just see him in the
gusto.
morgue, and he's just like, dude. So then Jason then goes over to Adrienne, and he grabs the back of her head, and he freezes, he chucks her face in the liquid nitrogen. He's like, nah, and then he pulls her out, and she's all frozen, and he smashes her face on the counter. It's like, cha.
Yeah, it's quite Mortal Kombat, isn't it?
That's it. And we get another one for the kill count. So we're at 5 now.
Oh, there we go. 5.
Yep. And I always thought that whole kill was very creative. To use liquid nitrogen and have her face explode. And then when her face goes into it, you see it from inside the sort of basin. You see her face just go, and it hardens.
Yeah.
That's the best looking thing in this movie.
Yeah, they clearly put a lot of time and effort in. It doesn't look terrible.
Do you know what I mean? And there's other bits where they've just no bothered their arse.
Yeah, that's where all the budget went.
That and practical effects for the autopsy, and then after that, it's all downhill for here, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So whilst that's all going on, Lo visits Rowan to see how she is and tells her about Earth 2. And it's one of these things, he's terrible because she's just like, what happened to Earth 1? And it's basically like, he's like, oh, it died. Like, he's just brutal.
He's awful.
He's not trying to break it down to her anyway. But the fact is, regardless of the fact, she doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
Everybody she knows and loves is dead. And she's just like, cool, I'm on a ship. Like, she doesn't really, there's no reaction
No.
to it. She deals with this very well.
She does. She's very well adjusted as our Rowan. And yeah, he adds on at the end after talking to her. He's like, can I get you anything else?
Aye, that's right.
Yeah,
He
like,
does.
everybody you know and love has died. The world you knew is gone.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Anything else?
But there's a bit more of a Jason history lesson here too, as Rowan starts to rattle off more details about Jason, including that they tried to hang him, and then they tried to shoot him, and they tried firing squads. And I'm like, why did you not cut him up into tiny pieces and then chop him up and then turn him into a curry or something and feed it to some orangutans? Body gone.
Poor orangutan.
Or they make it possessed, like in that other one.
Exactly. You have not thought this through.
I was just trying to think, there must be a way. Cut them into tiny pieces and spread them all over the world.
Yeah,
in little boxes and bury them in each corner of the world or something. Or I don't know, just do something like that. Cut them up, blow them up. Unless they're worried his spirit's going to, like, pure, what's it called, possess people again.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyway, I just think it's like, dude, there's better ways to kill him. Just I don't know, C4 all over him.
Yeah.
Chuck him out in the middle of the sea and blow him up. I don't know.
To be honest, like, cryogenically freezing him was working.
Aye, until
they brought him on board a ship.
Yeah, exactly. Until that guy tried to move him.
Yeah.
That's it. It wasn't until they brought him on the ship. He was already frozen.
Yeah.
And then back in 2010.
So if they just left him frozen, he would have been fine as he was.
Exactly.
Idiots.
So somewhere along the line, Stoney and Kinsa are somewhere. I don't care where the hell they are. And Jason ends up like basically macheteing the shit out of that guy, Stoney.
Yeah. So he picks up this weird machete-shaped tool in the lab. Convenient.
This isn't my machete. It's a poor substitute for my machete. Baldy.
Yeah, and then Stoney was definitely for it.
That's just at 6 now. But there is a spectacular face blood splatter scene here as well. It's like...
Yeah.
So Sergeant Brodsky leads a group of soldiers to attack Jason because the professor guy's like, you need to go and take him, but you also need to make sure he doesn't die because I need him alive, sort of thing.
He's worth some dollar.
He's basically worth... I don't know if he tells Brodsky off the bat, but Brodsky is no daft.
No.
But yeah, then Brodsky basically goes to inform the crew what the plan is. Sarge, what do we do when we find this guy? Well, I promised the doc we'd take him alive. So, after you blow him out of hell, put him on his legs so we can say we tried. Fair enough, eh?
Yeah.
So it's basically like, this is what upper management have told me, but sod them.
Basically,
I used to love
yeah.
having a manager that did that. It has happened to me through my working life before.
And I think Professor Lowe seems like he'd be quite tiresome.
I bet you anything. There's no way Brodsky and Lowe are hanging out in their private lives, I'll tell you. No chance, mate.
I get the impression that Professor Lowe doesn't hang out with anybody, that he'd be kind of like, I'm above all of you.
I'm above all of you, but please squeeze my nippy nips.
Basically, yeah.
Jason then clearly finds himself on the holodeck sort of thing, right? It's a simulation, right?
It's like the holodeck with scaffolding in it. I don't know why there's scaffolding in
I
it.
think it's because it's a game they're playing where they're shooting these big aliens and stuff. And I'd play that game. It looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
But the graphics are really crap because the whole scene here looks just horrible. Even for the time, I would say. I'm sorry.
I would agree. Yep.
It's got another surefire sign that this film was fired out with what they had and made quickly.
Yeah, I do wonder if this was for something else and they've just shoved it in.
You know, it's just a sign of we need to keep this character. Like we said, we need everybody to remember Jason's a thing, so we'll make this movie kind of thing. And this is one of the signs of that.
Yeah, I would agree. And also, when they're playing this game, it looks like they're using the poltergusts from Luigi's Mansion.
I didn't even notice.
And also, we have to mention that Dallas could also be a double for Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Aye. I didn't even notice that.
Did you not?
Nah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think when the biopic comes out, that guy's got to be like first in line.
I'd watch a Stone Cold biopic, like.
It'll be in the works, I'm sure.
Or just watch all his best moments on YouTube anyway. When Jason turns up though, he slices one of the dragons in half, and I'm like, that's the first time Jason's probably killed a dragon, even if it's not real.
Good for Jason, you know, it's still, after all these years, keeping things fresh.
He's branching out.
Yeah.
He's killing pure space dragons and that. He then proceeds to break Azrael's back and just flops him to the flare, and then he grabs the other guy and bashes his skull in.
Yeah, poor Stone Cold Steve Dallas.
That's it.
Is getting his head caved in.
Steve Dallas. And that has our kill count at 8.
God, he's getting through them.
He isn't half. Now, I've put this thing where I list after it just to make sure I know. Back-breaking face smash.
Nice. Top quality notes.
You know what cracks me up too, right? Our Jason, he's used to killing campers and kids, and that. He's got a full-on task force coming after him here.
Yeah, I think this is the first
Armed
time.
forces coming after him, for God's sake.
Yeah. You do wonder if it's a bit more of a challenge compared to teeny boppers.
Well, it's no, because he dispatches everybody anyway, so...
But so far it's mainly been students.
True. Well, anyway, let's see what happens now then, eh? So Jason then tries to attack Engineer Crutch, and Engineer Crutch is talking to the pilot. I think his name's Lou, and he's talking to him, and he's basically like, "Dinny mess with an engineer. Lou, I swear, you mess with an engineer, you're going to wake up in the morning with a waste hose in your bunk."
Ugh.
Hey, jobbies.
Yeah,
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what I took from
So
it as
not
well.
only would it be uncomfortable, it would stank like poopy poop.
Yeah, and if the gravity goes wrong, it could float.
Ugh. Oh, yeah.
It'd be a floater.
Ugh. But Bronski and his soldiers arrive in time to save Crunchy or Crutch or Clutch or whatever it is. They save him, and after he splits up the team, Jason sort of kills them one by one. So it's a bit of a spree, eh?
It is a spree.
So he starts by grabbing the guy's fin and pulling him into like a wee nook and like breaking his neck.
Yeah, a really slow neck break as
There's a
well.
lot of sort of, that would be grim.
Yeah.
And then he pushes a guy who's on a platform onto a screw, right? Because what?
Why is there a big drill bit?
I don't
just
know.
rotating?
There's a giant screw because space reasons, and the guy comes flying off and he squiggly wiggles all the way around.
He does do a really slow rotate, like
That's
a
it.
rotisserie chicken.
And
to be
then,
fair, he puts up a good fight.
He does put up a good fight. It's quite impressive. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of kicking and whoa, but it does not work out. I mean, to be fair, it doesn't matter how good you're at martial arts. I don't even think Bruce Lee could take Jason down. Although I would pay to see Bruce Lee versus Jason.
I'm sure it's on the books.
Probably. And then he takes the lady, the gecko, and he kills her by slitting her throat.
Oh.
I know, it's a wee shame. And there's another one that gets impaled on a hook. I don't think we see that. It's just you see her on the hook.
Yeah, you just see it on the hook. You don't
and
see her
then-
actually getting impaled.
And then he cuts another one of them in half, and the guy gets cut in half standing there, and then he sees the gecko come out, and she's like, and it's all like coming out and blood
Yeah.
and that, and then he cuts the guy in half, like jaw.
Like, he does demonstrate his kind of freakish strength
Yeah,
throughout these kills.
and he does have freakish zombie man strength.
Yeah, like being able to cut a man in half.
Yeah, totally with a machete.
Yes.
But it's pretty cool, eh?
It is pretty cool.
So this was the scene that I very much enjoyed as a child.
I thought you might.
We'll say child. I must have been like 13, 14 maybe, I think. Maybe 14, I think. Maybe it must have been. Right, something in that, right, those lines. And so this was the great scene because this is where everybody gets murdered, and that's what I was there to see.
How many killings?
How many killings? Exactly.
Yeah, I also enjoyed this because like it intersperses the scenes of like everybody else kind of crowded round in the lab. I think they've kind of holed up in.
Yeah.
And it's like they hear sounds and look up and they look terrified.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
that Kinsa, which is the wee stressed one. She's like looking a bit like the whole time. Fair enough though, it's not a great situation to be in.
No.
But there's a bit of lineage here because there's a bit where the lass comes along and she finds the guy that's been chucked off the thing onto the screw, and then Brodsky's like report.
Yeah.
Sarge, we found Condor.
What's his condition?
He's screwed.
That's another example of self-awareness, I believe.
Yeah. You could tell
Probably.
the writers would have been dead chuffed with it.
Aye, well, that'll fit in a treat. People will be talking about that forever, and they have, because
Yeah.
I have, certainly.
There you go.
And I love that. And then Bronsky also gets very injured here, badly injured, to the point where actually on my kill count I had him as deed, and I have to go back and change it.
It is portrayed as if he has passed away.
Aye, totally. But when he gets stabbed, this bit, right, now this used to annoy me as a child, right? But now it's like, looking at it now, I'm like, it's really, there's one of those lines, there's a couple of lines, there's another one shortly that used to annoy me too, and then did the other night, but there's something about it that I sort of enjoy about how stupid it is as well, Ken. It's going to take more than a poke in the ribs to put down this old dog. Yeah, that ought to do it. like you know what I mean? Like, what's that?
Imagine if those were your last words. That ought to do it.
That ought to do it. It's so stupid, man.
It is really stupid.
Oh, my lord. But that puts our kill count up to a juicy 13.
Jason's favourite number.
Oh, is it right enough? What? What's wrong with me? I'm like that. How's it his favourite number?
What's wrong with you?
Oh, no kidding. I was like that, eh? Is it? Aye. I must have missed that.
Yeah, he told me about it.
All right, aye. Was it mentioned one time?
He wrote
Apart
well-
from, the title of every movie he's been in.
Yeah. Up to a point. With the security team dispatched, we see Professor Lowe having a good think about what they're going to do. And he orders the pilot Lou to dock at the Solaris, so that spaceship that his financial backer was on, so that their security team can handle Jason.
That's right.
that's a terrible plan.
Aye, because there's just more people for Jason to kill.
Yeah, and also, like, that's not a plan at all. Like, oh, they'll handle it.
Yeah, I know. No, but that's it. He's just going to handle the problem to someone else because he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, it's just absolute cowardice at its finest.
It's true, but at the same time, he's trying to let the professionals deal with it. But how do we know that the people on the Solaris are equipped to deal with this? We didn't ken.
To be fair, they do cover this.
Right.
And they say that because the Solaris is a bigger sort of space station,
Right.
that they've got a much more advanced security team.
Fair enough. I'm thinking with the ship, I'm thinking it's like the Orville, but the Orville's a ship, it's not a space station. But like, I've never watched Deep Space Nine. I feel like I'd enjoy that because it's different for the other Star Treks as far as I understand, because it's about a space station. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
See, I feel like I'd quite like that.
It is good.
Is it?
I like Deep Space Nine.
Is that Jane? No.
No, that's Voyager.
Voyager, right. So who's Deep Space Nine? Oh my God,
That's
testing
terrible.
Cat's Star Trek knowledge, I'm sorry.
My Star Trek knowledge is not that good. That's
No,
terrible.
it's something we've watched a bit of, but not like all of them. We've watched a lot of the original series and stuff, but...
Yeah. Like, I could name a lot of the crew off of Next Gen and all the crew off of the original series, but...
Oh, it's Cisco.
Of course it's Cisco.
So it's Benjamin Sisko.
Yeah, he was very good.
He was cool, I remember. So I must have seen some of it. My mum was mad into Star Trek. She watched Star Trek all the time. I remember a lot of times walking into the living room and mum would be ironing, watching Star Trek. And like, that was one of her ironing shows. Ken.
It's a good
And it was
ironing
also,
show.
like, back then we didn't have... Oh, fuck, I just sort of flicked my popcorn.
Oh, so did I.
Like, back then you didn't have you didn't have streaming, and you didn't have it was mum would chuck on whatever's on the TV, and it was Sky One, and Sky One used to show Star Trek and various iterations of Star Trek all day, all the time. And so mum would stand there, on her days off doing the laundry, like the gem that she is, watching Star Trek. Do you know what I mean? So so I would walk past and be like, oh, that looks quite cool. And actually back then I wasn't into sci-fi that much.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'd still be like, oh, that's interesting. But I was always, even when I was a kid, I never wanted to be the parent. I always wanted to see stuff for this beginning.
Yeah, and I think that's much more of a thing now.
It is, because you go into streaming and you watch season 1. But back then it was like you're watching season 5, episode 63, and you've no idea what's happening in the series, but you have to watch it because you've no choice.
Yeah, and you'd have to hope that if you got into it, somebody would buy the box set for your Christmas.
Exactly, and even then, but box sets just weren't that much of a thing then. My brother had the box set for South Park season 1, and it was about 9 videotapes minimum. I can't remember, it could be more than that. And they were in big
commitment.
3-pack volumes, and Pete loved them, and they were one of his favourite things. But that's how you got it then, and we were lucky to have that. That was Pete's big present at Christmas or something.
Yeah, I remember us having Still Game on DVD, and it was like series 2, episode 1 to 5.
Yeah, that's right. So you didn't even have every episode on the DVD.
No. And that's
For those
just the
who
way it
are
is.
not in the know, Still Game is a Scottish comedy series which most people I know absolutely adore, and it is it's very funny and it's very Scottish.
Yeah.
What else can you say? It's one of these things that's quite loved by Scottish people.
It
Not
really
across
is.
the board, but many of us love it.
Yeah, a lot of people do, and it is quite a Scottish sort of iconic Scottish comedy.
Aye, if you're watching it at our age, you watch that and you're like, we all knew people like that growing up. We knew older guys like the people in that series, and people and everybody in the Craig Lang, where they're set in a fictitious place called Craig Lang, and all these people. I knew everyone like that when I was a kid. All those people.
Yeah.
I knew someone like each one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But anyway, that's just in case, because Still Game's probably going to come up again, because we watch it a lot and we talk about it a lot, and it's a big thing in our family. Both sides of the family adore it, so everybody likes it.
Yeah.
Here. Do you
It's
know what
always
I mean?
a crowd pleaser.
Aye. So we're always quoting it and stuff, so I'm surprised it's not come up in 11 episodes.
I know,
It's
I'm
taken 11
surprised
episodes, so...
That's quite good.
That's one of the things we spent doing on Kat's birthday. We must have watched about, I don't know, like 7 or 8 episodes of Still Game that day.
Yeah, I've no regrets.
It was great.
Very good. So, back to space.
Away from Craig Lang and into space. Never thought I'd say that sentence, ever.
There you go. The crossover we never knew we needed.
That's right.
We see the pilot's hatch where Lou clearly lives.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't seem like he moves away from his control station very often. And unfortunately for Lou, Jason is there. Yeah. So Jason does kill Lou in quite a spectacular fashion, in that he has sort of obliterated. He just chops him into bits, sort of smashes him to smithereens. Like, it goes all over the controls. It is grim.
Oh, dearie me. Poor Lou. We're up to 14 now.
There we go, past that magical 13 number.
That's right.
Unfortunately, that because Lou is the pilot and is now deceased, very deceased, the ship no longer has a pilot, so crashes straight into the Solaris,
Yep.
right through it.
It's class, right? So it crashes into the Solaris, and is it Lo, the guy? Sorry, I keep forgetting his name. I keep going to call him Lou, but Lou's the pilot. Lo's just like, oh, I came up with it, it'll be fine. It's all right, we just overshot it. We'll turn around and go back. Oh, aye, no problem, Lo. And then it's like you just see the Solaris basically blow up into smithereens.
Yeah, it is a big crash. Like, there is a lot of damage to the Solaris.
But I'm always like, honestly, right, is Jason a genius? Does he know? If I take out the pilot, they're all screwed. But then I'm screwed too, but I haven't really thought about that because Jason. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he's a much of a care for personal
Or does he think
gain.
at all? Is he a mindless killing machine? Is that all he wants to do? He's got no motive.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's
Early on he does because it's like he's taking revenge for the campers that let him die. I can't believe we've not really said, but I should say, honestly, I did my Jason a history, but I didn't give you the biggest piece of history, which was that Jason, the whole origin story is that he's a small child, he's a small disabled child at that, and he drowns in Crystal Lake because the camp counsellors aren't paying attention because they're having sex, basically.
So he then goes on a moral justice campaign.
That's right. Shagging counsellors equals dead child, and then he goes on a revenge spree. So it's like, is that his motive? But now he's in space and that has nothing to do with Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
They had to take him away from Crystal Lake eventually,
Yeah.
and that's why they tried to take him to Manhattan.
Very slowly on a boat.
Exactly, on a boat. There's only so much you can do in the one place.
Yeah, definitely.
But for me, those are the
somewhere.
best movies anyway. Doesn't matter that it's rinse and repeat. Doesn't matter that one of them's got a telekinetic woman in it.
Yeah.
Because it's still a Crystal Lake and that's what I see. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But I would agree that he's in this one, he is just a killing machine.
Killing machine. And I'm not counting the deaths on the Solaris in the kill count.
No, we would have no way of quantifying that.
Well, I do, because apparently it is 62.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it was said somewhere along the line.
That
Because
massive ship only had 62 on
found a
it.
YouTube video.
Right.
And the guy was going through it because I was like, I wonder. So allegedly it had 60 soldiers and 2 crew on it.
Right.
So it would have been 62 more. But I didn't think he kills them, really. He smashes the ship into the thing where it's not really a direct kill. You can say that's controversial if you want, but Mikey isn't counting it in his kill count.
That's it. That's the
Right.
That's the decision has been made.
Because then it would just get outrageous, all right?
Yeah.
We're sticking to the kill count, which is currently 14.
Fair enough. Okay. 14
I
is.
don't know why I'm running. I look all angry right now. I'm like, ah!
You do a bit. But it's okay. Just breathe.
Go.
Can we also just discuss the fact that the Grendel, the ship that they're on, must be almost...
I was about to turn and go, who's Grendel? Grendel is the ship.
Yeah, the Grendel is the ship. Is practically indestructible. Like, if the Solaris is taking that much damage...
Yeah, I don't understand. Is it how the Grendel didn't blow up as well?
Yeah.
I never even thought until you said that just now.
Wild.
That's absolutely outrageous. Both ships should be damaged to some degree.
Yeah, and I think the Grendel has taken damage.
But it's not blown up like the
No.
other ship is. So how come the wee ship's alright, but the big ship's absolutely destroyed?
Yeah, there's ways you could argue it away because
Maybe there's some sort of
but-
sci-fi physics we're not taking into account.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Totally. Let's not pull that thread.
No,
too
I'm not
hard.
going there.
So Jason then goes on another wander around the ship and makes his way into Lab 1, where he finds Professor Lowe, at which point he reclaims his machete and Professor Lowe thinks everything's just going to be just fine.
Yeah, he thinks everyone's hunky-dory. He's like, oh, if our troubles are over, Egypt. Oh, you want your machete back? It's yours, take it. Just remember who saved it for you. Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. This was that line. This was the line that annoyed me and Pete as kids. It was so stupid. Eh?
Yeah, it is
And
pretty
it's
stupid.
just like, and I know we're being self-aware and all the rest of it. Maybe they're trying to make out that the people that he's killing are stupid or something. I don't know. But nobody ever would ever be like, oh, I'll give him his machete back and that's all he wants. So he's just going to sit and be quiet until we get to Earth 2.
I think it just highlights how much of a little weasel Professor Lowe is.
So we see the rest of the guys that are holed up wherever they're holed up, and you just sort of hear Lowe screaming.
You do.
And that's him dead. And that's us at 15.
Nice.
Right, Nippy Nunu is no more.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Professor Lowe.
Bye-bye, Professor Nips.
So the students are now without Professor Lowe. So it's the students, Rowan and KM, that are left to fight off Jason.
The robot that is obsessed with nipples.
Yeah.
I've said nippies, nips, nippy nunus and nipples a lot in this episode, but there was quite a bit of nippy chat and I can't see past it.
Yeah. I wish it hadn't been such a feature, but here we are. So the Grendel has apparently taken quite a bit of damage and they decide to try and use the shuttle to get off of the ship.
So they do reference the damage. You did say that earlier, aye.
They do.
But it just doesn't feel like the damage is proportional, I guess.
I 100% agree. Sunarian and KM have a conversation about their odds.
I think it's Ceneron. I'm
Gosh,
sorry, the
darn
name
it.
is very difficult
It
to
is.
pronounce. And guys, honestly, seeing it written down, it still doesn't look like Ceneron. I've only remembered because I did the impression the other night.
Thank
And
goodness
that's
you
the
did.
only reason I've remembered, because I heard it a few times.
We would have been blind without it.
I know, but even then, it's like I keep forgetting it, but it's Ceneron.
Ceneron. 3
Aye.
times fast. So yeah, Ceneron has a conversation with KM discussing their odds.
There's enough firepower in here to level a moon. I say we pack this stuff up and head for the shuttle. So what do you think? We're going to make it?
Well, the statistical probability of survival is 12%.
12%'s no great.
12% is not great.
She ends up giving him a wee kiss.
She does, and then after the kiss, their percentage survival chances increase dramatically.
That's 53% I had.
53%
Aye.
from 12%.
I know.
That's some
Just because they had a
kiss.
wee smoochy smooch.
Yeah,
If you're ever in a tight spot, smooch. That's what I've learned.
that's my life motto.
Aye. And it had me thinking of C-3PO.
Yes.
Because he's also a robot. And he says the odds in Empire and I've said various other times. But the one that always springs to mind for me is Empire when the asteroid field.
Yes.
And he's like, what are they? And do you remember what the odds are? Because I Googled it.
I do not.
C-3PO says the odds are 3,720 to 1.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's not bad. Never tell me the odds. So Jason goes to visit our pal Crutch again.
Crunchy.
Yeah. Who has taken over piloting the ship in place of the dismembered man.
Aye, I mean, I guess it makes sense. He's an engineer, maybe he kens a wee bit about piloting, and he's probably better than everybody else they've got on board. So,
And also, Crutch has clearly been through a lot, and he mentions a conflict he was in.
not just any conflict. You're lucky you weren't alive during the Microsoft conflict. Hell, we were beating each other with our own severed limbs. Wow.
I think we all felt like that through the XP phase.
Yeah, Windows XP. What is this? It's not numbers.
Actually, I quite liked XP. What was the one?
I did a lot of work in XP, I'm pretty sure.
What was the one after XP? Was it Vista? Microsoft Vista?
Maybe it was Vista, yeah.
Oh, anyway, the one in between XP and 9 or 10.
That's what caused the conflict.
That's what caused the conflict.
Get Cat's head cannon, that's what caused the conflict.
Understandably. Jason pushes Crutch's head into the console and electrocutes him.
Oh, Crutchy, bye-bye.
Crutchy, bye-bye.
Which takes our kill count up to 16. Bye-bye, Crunchy.
Bye-bye, Crunchy. We see the remainder of the crew and people left on board heading for the shuttle. And Kinsa decides that she's going to leg it herself.
So selfish, man.
So selfish. She's very much a flapper, which I find quite annoying. And I've clearly reflected that in my notes where I was like, I would snap her neck myself. I'm sick of her shit.
Did he hold back, Cat? Jeez, oh.
Yep. She was dead annoying.
She was, and also I think Rowan gets a bit testy at this point, and all. Well, before that point, Rowan gets quite annoyed, and I actually wrote here that she does threaten one of them with violence, the annoying one, which I think is Kinsa. And I'm like, she took longer to crack than I would have done, because oh my god,
Yeah, like how she's put up with her nonsense, I'll never know.
patience of a saint.
Yeah.
Well, no, really, because she does snip at her a wee bit, but
She
but she snips it. But then later on, when Kinsa's got herself locked up inside the thing, and she's trying to get her to open up to let the rest of them in, right, into the shuttle. She's all like, "Honey, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay, sweetie?" She's patronising as hell.
Yeah,
And I was
she
just
really
like,
is.
and it was so false. And I'm like, oh, I think she's doing what I think she's freaking out and panicking and just trying. But it's all those little terms of endearment she throws in that just come across as being really patronising and annoying.
Yeah, definitely. But you've got to do what you've got to do to try and get her to unlock the door. You
Anyway,
know?
Kinsa dies.
Yeah, Kinsa doesn't do herself any favours at all. Because while trying to escape, she forgets to release the shuttle's fuel lines.
Yep.
So basically it kind of swings into the impervious Grendel. So the little shuttle just careens straight into the ship,
Yep.
blowing up and killing Kinsa.
Yeah. And a ruling here, no kill count, because she didn't, Jason had nothing to do with this. Well,
Yep.
he did, but he didn't, night.
He's not responsible
No,
for the death.
no direct kill, not counted.
Worry not about our crew.
This whole bit is wild. Oh, man.
Yes, don't worry. Ceneron has come
Well done,
to save
well done,
the day.
Kat, well done.
I know, thank you. It's only taken me all day to get it right. He reappears with an uploaded KM14.
Right. So the guy Ceneron's like that, just gave her an upload. And I'm like, right, how did nobody pick up that is the wrong term to use?
Yeah.
You gave her an upload. Unless he means that he uploaded software.
Maybe. She's got some new drivers.
I've just had this realisation. Maybe she had drivers that needed uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't call it that. You would say updated or upgraded. You wouldn't say an upload.
For sure.
I didn't think. Unless that's just modern speak.
Maybe. It
But
was 2002.
No, it wasn't. Because it was 2454 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So actually, upload maybe is the appropriate term. But no, right now it's no, and it's stupid.
Yeah, we both didn't like it.
And then, not to make matters worse, he comes in and he sees Jason. He goes, "Hey, Slappy!"
I know. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know why he's naming him after the dummy from Goosebumps, but he is.
There you go. Of all the insults to get.
Oh, honestly.
Maybe it's a reference to Jason's thinning hair, which I feel is a bit cruel.
It is.
And quite personal.
Jason didn't have hair when he was a wee boy either.
Oh, well, there you go. Uploaded KM14 can now wield weapons and has better combat skills to stand a better chance against Jason.
Because she's been uploaded.
Because she's been uploaded. And she then takes on Jason in hand-to-hand combat, where she does some amazing kicks that are accompanied by horrible whoosh noises.
There's a lot of shooting as well. She's shooting like mad.
Yeah, like she comes out in this leather outfit as well, and I feel like it's very Matrix.
Yeah, it is, aye. But then maybe 1998 or something, Matrix 2000.
I think it's around about that time. She puts up a bloody good fight.
She does. It doesn't work, but I also like that she goes, "Giddy up," as well at one point.
I missed that.
Yeah, she goes, "Giddy up," and then she punches him, and I was like, that's ridiculous as well.
No, I have also written that down. Sorry, I missed that in my notes. I've written giddy up punch.
Giddy up. Getty. That's what I used to say when I was wee. That's what I thought you said. When I was wee, I didn't realise it was giddy. I thought it was giddy up. So I was like, giddy up, giddy up.
Bless you.
Thankfully, we're Scottish and we didn't pronounce our T's.
Yeah.
So it was giddy up anyway, so nobody noticed.
That's probably why.
Until years later when I seen it written down, and it wasn't Shania Twain's banging album a few years ago.
That's a banger.
Last year? I don't know. Anyway, It wasn't that. It was something else I've seen it written down once and I went, oh my God, I've been wrong all these years. Nobody will ever know, and now I'm telling you. So.
Yeah.
And anybody listening.
Little secret club.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. So after having his right arm, left leg, right ribs, and part of his head blasted off by KM14, Jason's body is knocked into a nanite-equipped medical station. So good job, KM14. She did it.
Yeah, I said, the movie's over. It was good talking to you guys. See you next week.
Yep, bye. Okay, so that's not quite what happens. The survivors manage to send a distress signal out. They decide that they're going to try and set some explosive charges to separate the ship's undamaged pontoon from the main section. So try and get rid of all the stuff that's damaged.
Mm-hmm. But you know what they don't do? Move Jason off the nanite bloody technology thing.
No, they do not.
They didn't move him away from the nano ants, did they?
No.
And that's stupid.
That's very
They could have
silly.
moved him off the table. They could have put him anywhere else. If it was me, I would have carried him with us.
Yeah.
To make sure we knew he wasn't up in a boot.
Do you know what? I might just carry a bit of him with me.
Aye, because if it
Just-
wiggles, then you'll ken. I don't know if that's how he works. If it's an Evil Dead 2 scenario where his hand's going to come out, I ken.
Yeah. I've just a security policy that he can never be 100% again because I've got like 8%.
His toe or something. What did you say?
8%.
8%. Do you know what else I noticed here? Brodsky is ripped.
Brodsky's very ripped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, he's shredded, as they say these days.
Yeah, on the shred.
So they didn't move Jason, and therefore the medical station nanites activate for some reason, and they rebuild Jason, who becomes a cyborg.
This is what happens when you don't tidy up.
It's true. Always tidy up. Then they leave your dead zombie killer hockey mask men on a table where something where he could clearly be rebuilded, right? Rebuilded, re-uploaded, whatever you want to call it, right?
Exactly. If you only take one thing away from this, that's it.
So KM then tries to attack him again. She's like, it's fine, it doesn't matter. I'll take him out. And then she goes over and then he just basically decapitates her very quickly.
Aye, punches her head off.
Punches her head square off. It's like, boosh! And it's like her head just goes flying and it's hilarious. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And then, and basically, and at this point I noticed that Jason's new mask kind of makes it look like he's pouting like he's less. Hey,
He does have a
he's
very
moving a
pouty
pout.
face.
She's like, sorry, this is an audio thing. I can't really, right? But he's like, his lips are like,
He does have a lot of
they
pout.
look like
on
the
go.
lip filler nuns, a Goofy movie.
There you go. That is exactly what they look like. And also, I noted down that when you first see Jason in his new get-up, he looks like he's wearing one of those suits that you see kids wearing, like little muscle suits, like, you know, when they're trying to dress up like The Rock or Action Man or whatever.
Superman, aye.
Yeah, Superman's a much better example.
Action Man! What decade are you living in?
I'm so old.
Hey, Superman's
so
older than Action Man, probably.
Yeah, but I think if you asked a kid,
Action Man, the greatest hero of them all!
tell that to Superman.
All the action men, man. Men, man.
Men man. So yeah, I think it looks like he's wearing one of those little padded suits.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Which is a shame because Kane Hodder probably was absolutely shredded.
Oh yeah, that's it. It looks like he's pursing his lips.
Yeah.
If he had lips, the mask looks like it's pursing his non-existent lips. Yeah.
Tell you what, there's only one way to decide this. We'll get a picture of you doing the lips
All right. Oh,
versus the mask.
Okay.
And then we'll put it on the socials.
Okay.
Okay?
That's me. Right. Cool. But at the point where he punches KM's head, I literally turn into Catman. He punched her head off.
Yeah.
Square off.
Right off her shoulders. It's so ridiculous. It's great.
And it's also like, why does she get so close to him? Anyway.
Yeah, there was no need. I think she got a bit cocky.
Aye. She got her wee upload and she's like, oh, I'm all cocky now. As Ceneron recovers KM's head, Jason is stopped by Waylander, who's one of the other guys that's been around. And he sacrifices himself, setting off the charges while the others escape.
Aww.
I know.
What a hero.
No kill.
No kill.
Because he sacrificed himself.
He did.
Very strict with this.
You've got definite rules.
But not strict enough, because earlier on we had to go back and have a look because I miscounted one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I've got it now, right?
I think we've got it now.
My little rules where the Solaris doesn't count and self-sacrifice doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
And, right?
Yeah.
And also killing yourself doesn't count.
No, it's very easy to follow.
But at this point as well, we see Ceneron and he's got KM's head. And the way that they've done it is they've literally got the actor who's playing KM to just put her head through his arms. And he's sort of got on a wee head look, but it looks like he's carrying a head.
Yeah, it's quite clever.
And this is a tried and tested method for doing this.
It is.
It was used. It's been done millions of times.
Mm-hmm.
It was done in Alien, for example, when they put Bilbo Baggins' head on the thing.
Yeah.
And his head, but that's his head just coming through. But they do it so cleverly, right?
Honestly, that one, like with Ian Holmes' head on Alien, still looks fantastic.
I know, because but you know that's how they're doing it. I can see that because that's how I look at movies. I like to see I want to know how everything's been made, right?
Yeah.
And so when I see it, I know that this is head through a table.
Yeah, but we've seen it done to various degrees.
Aye.
And I think this one wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. There were some points where it did look a bit.
Well, do you know what was bad? In a sec, they then change and it's a fucking animatronic head. And it looks horrible.
It does look really weird. It was giving me the heebies because I don't like that.
Kat doesn't like animatronics.
Mm-mm.
We just went to Florida and that, and Disney. You were all right.
I'm okay with those. I'm okay with those. They're a safe distance.
Aye, that's true. And they're normally on some sort of cart going past them, like. Rrr.
I'm too busy going wee.
Aye, true. Or screaming.
Yeah, also true.
To me, I am the screamer on the roller coasters.
You are the screamer on the roller coasters.
Aye, I mean, I think for some reason we went on the Indiana Jones. Temple du Perel in France.
Yes.
We've been on it before. It's quite a rough ride for folk who haven't done it. It's an old ride. It's been there since when I was there when I was 5. So it's a very old ride.
Very old.
Dinosauric, you might say. And it's rough. But like the whole time it's good though.
Very
like
good.
We've kind of cracked it now. We put our heads a certain way so we didn't bump around and it's not so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time I just shouted, Du Perel to Kat.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, like a crazy French man.
You did.
But anyway, Jason survives the explosions of the ship and the, what's it called?
The walkways.
The walkways. He survives that, right? And then he punches a hole through the hull. He's like, Dang! And then he causes like, because he punches a hole, he causes like a vacuum to go shooting through the hole.
Of course he does. Like, I could have put half of my life savings on this film having something like that in it.
Aye, but only half, apparently.
The whole lot. The whole lot.
Oh dear, she's out of control,
I've doubled
guys.
it now. Doubled it.
Right. Anyway, what's her name? Janessa. Sorry. Janessa gets sucked through the hole and she basically gets grated like a piece of cheese.
Yeah, she gets cubed.
And that's her kill count at 17. But then there's a power failure after that and the docking door forces Brodsky to go outside in a sort of suit thing to to fix the problem.
Yes. And one thing we'll need to mention at this point is that actually the distress signal has been picked up by a ship.
Yeah.
And that's why this is all very important, because the ship's trying to dock to get the people off.
Yeah.
But with the power failure and with the walkways being destroyed, they've had to go about it in an unusual route.
Aye. And it's like the wee guy comes, the wee dude that's coming to help, that's coming to pick them up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's like this little pressure tunnel. And
Yeah,
Kat was like, ooh.
Yeah, he deploys his inflatable tunnel.
Kat loved the pressure tunnel. You were into that.
I was.
That's cool.
Yeah, I want
of
one.
them.
Right down the garden path.
Somehow Jason ends up in a place where they're able to use a holographic simulation at Camp Crystal Lake to distract him. Now, it must be... So I said earlier it was like a holodeck, but it must know. They must be able to deploy it wherever they want.
Yeah, they must be able to move it.
Which is raj, because I didn't understand how that was able to happen. And to be honest, I don't think the people making the movie even know how the hell
It's
they
the
managed to get
future.
this. Exactly. Yeah. It's space. It's a spaceship. They can make a simulation in any room. Okay, cool. That's not how it works in Star Trek, but it's fine. I'll let it slide. But the holographic simulation at Camp Crystal Lake, as we know and love it. And we get the old music. We get the ch-ch-ch.
We do.
And it made me miss it. And I was like, that's made me miss it. And then I thought, maybe this film's done its job. Because like, if anybody else is watching this, they're going to be like, oh man, look, how good are those old movies? Let's watch those again. Because that's what that's the effect it had on me. So,
Yeah, I would agree. I think when you get back to that original set and you're like, nah.
but anyway, Jason's cutting about in Crystal Lake 1980.
Yeah, that's what
I think that's
she
what
said.
KM says, or one of the... No, it's not KM, because she's a heed now. Somebody says it. And we get the two girls that are there, and the two teenage girls, and he kills those two girls. And they're no kit and count because they're no real.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
He does kill them in a classic fashion, though.
He does. And I'm pretty sure it's from Friday the 13th, part 7. With the sleeping bag. He gets the sleeping bag and he cracks the sleeping bag off a tree. He's like, ah, kills the lassie. But the two girls are just like, we've got pot and we're having premarital sex. We love premarital sex. And you're like, right, okay. Again, this is self-awareism.
Yeah, it is.
All right. They know that we know that everybody who has sex or has a cigarette or so much as farts is in trouble and could get murdered. All right.
Yes.
If you do something wrong, you're not supposed to. It's like these films were an ultimate morality lesson.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids, didn't go and have premarital sex. Didn't smoke cannabis because you'll end up getting murdered by Jason.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, I would have been murdered a long time ago. But I like to throw back to I think it's 7. I think it's New Blood. And I noticed at this point that the side of Jason's heat looks like a Lorne sausage.
Oh, I like a bit of Lorne. Yeah. Never going to look at it the same again.
Oh, no. I shouldn't say that. We had Lorne sausage, I think, the next day.
I think
So
we did,
maybe that's
yeah.
why, because it put me in the mind for it.
Mm.
Lorne sausage is a flat beef, largely sausage, in a sort of rectangular shape that you fry.
Now, you've just caused a controversy there, all on your own.
How?
Square sausage.
It's called square. So yeah, people call it square sausage. It is not a square. It is a rectangle.
I'm getting my ruler out.
Cool. Go for it. But it's not a square.
Right, but it's a square when you put it in, and then when it shrivels, it goes rectangle.
Right. That's the absolute pish. Don't even start. Right.
I'm just going to start getting the technicalities in early.
Right. All right. Yeah. Right. Well, we'll start doing. I don't know what that was. Wow. Deflated. Right. I'll tell you what. Right. We'll get the measuring tape out with the next lot of Lorne.
Don't you point at me.
Right. We'll get the measuring tape out with the next lot of Lorne.
Fine.
Right. And then the next one and the next few. And then we're going to make our chart. Right.
Gladly, that's my wheelhouse all over.
That's Cat's thing all over. And I'm going to do this. We're going to find out if Lorne sausage is square or rectangular.
Yeah, I can tell you it's square.
But the fact is, it is called, a lot of people call it square sausage.
It's square sausage is the time.
But that's what the side is. He looks like, I think.
Glad we covered that.
Fuck's sake. Goodness me.
I wish at this point they'd managed to get a cameo from somebody.
Who?
Kevin Bacon.
Oh, no. I know.
Imagine.
He could have been the guy that's coming to pick them up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it would have been amazing if they managed to do it.
I think he could have been the guy that comes to pick them up, and that would have been really cool.
But I think Kevin Bacon's done quite well to
Oh,
body
you
swap
want me to
this
be in
one.
the next Friday the 13th and it's in space? I'll pass.
Yeah, hard pass on that.
I'm too busy being footloose, footloose, kicking off my Sunday shoes. What?
Guys, you missed that excellent display of dancing, and including an actual kick.
I know, I think I gritted my teeth like a little vicious boy there when I was doing it. Got really into it. That's this, right? Okay, tonight's drink was Levi Roots Energy Jamaican Sunset with a pinch of chili.
Oh, that's what's giving you the
Tonight's
spicy dance
energy
moves.
drink, and it was watermelon and guava, and I can't recommend it enough. 69p, home bargains, go and get yourself one. But honestly, I think that's where it's okay. That's what's happening there.
Wow, okay. The energy has been high.
I know. It's like 8:15. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
That's not your watch.
I know, that's not my watch. That's the wrong arm. So that's totally the time. Yeah. Right.
Dearie me.
Jason realises a deception though, just as the door's fixed. And I don't know how he realises, but he does. And still in his EVA suit, Brodsky confronts Jason so the rest of the guys can escape. And as they leave, the pontoon explodes and it propels Jason at high speed towards the survivors. So they think they're getting away. And then they just see Jason floating through space like Princess Leia, like, hey guys, you forgot me. And you were like, oh, for goodness sake, will they not just die?
Yeah, I was not pleased with this at all.
But it's hilarious because then Brodsky intercepts and just comes out of nowhere and just goes shoof, and just smacks him out the way, and you burst through laughing because it is really funny actually.
It is, and I've written down, I've always wanted to see Iron Man versus Jason because the EVA suit is very Iron Man-esque.
They are, aye, absolutely. And he goes flying past, and it's just so funny because Jason's coming towards the thing, and Brodsky comes out of nowhere and just goes and smacks him out the way.
It's fast as well. Like, it's a proper drive-by. Well, flyby.
Flyby. But aye, when Brodsky intercepts Jason, they both start sort of flying towards Earth 2 and into the atmosphere, and they're both sort of incinerated during atmospheric entry. Ceneron, Rowan and KM-14 escape as Ceneron assures KM-14 she will get a new body.
Oh, that's nice.
Just in case you're worried, KM-14's going to get a new body. It's cool.
Nice.
On Earth 2, a pair of teenagers are by a lake when they see what they believe is a shooting star, and the teenagers then go to investigate as we see Jason's charred mask sink to the bottom of the lake.
Nice. Yeah. I've noted that it looks like the mask is going into a fish tank.
It does. It probably was.
I think it was, yeah.
Also, that's the end of the movie, by the way. And also, I was just thinking, I'm like that. Jason is the shooting star. Mm-hmm. Once again, right, showing us that Jason is the literal star of his 10th movie.
There you go.
9th movie. He's not in the first one.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's not in the first one.
Just realised. He is in the first one, but he's no like a man.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not really a man now, so we'll not get into the technicalities of that. But yes, no, he is the main character. He is the star of this film. And
the shooting star.
Yeah, I actually don't mind the ending.
Nah, me either.
I think it's quite good.
Listen, looking at this film as a whole, they could have,
Yeah, who knows where it was going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Like the fact that they had an ending that made somewhat sense is actually quite impressive.
A miracle from this absolute bomb scare.
Now we're at the end of the movie. I can announce that the final kill count is 17.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's pretty high, man. I didn't think it was 17. Like from memory.
No, that is pretty high, I think. Like, especially in the middle section, they get through the kills quite fast.
Totally. Well, it's been a long time since I did a Friday the 13th watch through, and the films are all rotten, I think, all of them, so we will probably cover them all over time. But I think doing this little thing where we go through and we get the actual Jason kill count will be fun. And then we can see if this was high, but I think this is probably quite high, 17.
Watch out for the stats once we've finished.
I know, Kat's going to make a bar chart, she's excited. I was about to say pie chart and she looked at me there like, didn't say pie chart.
No self-respecting person who doing any analytics uses a pie chart.
I like pie charts. They look like pizza.
They do look like pizza.
They're actually quite good for memes.
They are good for memes, and that's all they're good for.
They're good for memes, but not for science.
So, Mikey, what's your take on Jason X?
It's daft.
It is daft.
Right. That's the word I can really strap to this one. It's daft. Everything about it feels cheap. And by the way, I didn't notice that as a kid, though. I just didn't. I didn't notice it,
Mm-hmm.
It pokes fun at itself, though, and I think that's quite fun. And it doesn't only poke fun at it, it pokes fun at the whole franchise, basically. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it answers the question once again, which we've already said. Where does your franchise go when there's nowhere else to go? Space, exactly. Again, speaking from a horror fan's perspective, it's got a lot of fun kills, right? That's, it has. It's got fun killings. It's got, there's the liquid nitrogen face smash. Mm-hmm. There's the guy getting screwed literally, and then there's that like funny parts where KM gets her head punched off. You know what I mean? There's a lot of characters here, but the thing I see when you're strapping in to watch a slasher and there's a lot of characters in a closed setting, you're going to have something fun.
Yes.
And that's what you get.
I would agree, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't look great. It doesn't sound great on various levels. Mm-hmm. But, it was fun. You know what I'm saying? It was basically made, as we discussed, to keep Jason alive. There's no getting about that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like I said to you earlier, I wondered if that was ever a problem anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? How was Jason known the public consciousness? Do you know what I mean?
I think I can see why it would be a concern at the time. I think it would be less of a problem now.
But it's a shite film, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But I do enjoy it. It's much like you have said, funnily enough, about last week when we talked about Twilight. You said the exact same thing about Twilight.
Yeah.
It's a shite film in every fashion.
Oh,
but
undeniable.
For me, this is more self-aware and more silly and knows exactly what it is. Whereas Twilight was trying to do something and failed 5 times. Do you know what I'm saying? That's true, though, you know what I mean? What about you? Have you got anything to add there at all?
I wholeheartedly agree. And I think before we started recording today, I was like, oh, it's dross, it's terrible. But actually, the laughs we've had talking about it have actually started to make me feel quite fond of it.
That's exactly what's happened to me since 2002.
Yeah, so I can see how it would grow on you, especially when you know what's coming. I think maybe it kind of gained pace and then it became more enjoyable as the film went on, as it kind of leaned more in that sci-fi-esque ridiculousness.
Aye.
And I think maybe if they'd gone into that faster, it would have been a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a bit far. But I think
it is a masterpiece.
There are definitely some really fun bits in it.
Well, absolutely. I think our opinions, regardless of how much you've written about how crap this film is, our opinions are very much the same. Mm-hmm. But I find it very entertaining because I've got a connection with it and with the franchise as a whole. But the other thing you've got to remember is here that people who liked the franchise hated this film, probably, for good reason. But I was a kid. So I was in my prime. I was getting to see, I'd just gotten to Jason. It was super fun. All the Friday the 13th, and then I was getting them in space. That's so stupid. I was into it. As I always do, I looked online to see what people are saying in various sources and articles and other bits and bobs. There was an article from a website called No But Listen, which is, I think, the whole point in No But Listen is to be like, no, listen, honestly, because people, to stick up for something that people might hate, but you're the one that's going, no, wait.
Controversial opinion, I like it.
Basically, unpopular opinion puffin website. Mm-hmm. They basically say it's like a fun new approach that sort of breathes some life into the franchise, and that it's a standout for the franchise. Now, I can't say that. I don't think it breathes life into the franchise. Everybody knows when they go to space, they're struggling for ideas. But then I think maybe some franchises go to space because it's fun.
Yeah, and I think you are allowed to go to space.
I love Hellraiser Bloodline. I will say it and say it again. People don't like it. I really enjoyed it. I was mad into Hellraiser, and for me, Hellraiser was all 3 movies. Can you imagine my surprise when I found out there was more? Unfortunately, after 4, it all goes downhill and they're all terrible. As I've said in this podcast before, scripts that were written for other movies and then shoehorned in. Mm-hmm. Hellraiser Bloodline was in space, but it was also in way back in the oldie times. It was a wild film, and I liked it. Probably get a chance to do it. I think it's probably rotten.
I would think so.
I'm willing to bet half my life savings on it.
That's a lot of money.
No, it's not. And they're also saying it's funny with unique kills. 100% agree with that.
I think that's fair.
And that's one thing as well. Another thing I'd seen online was this franchise jumped the shark ages ago.
Yeah, it did.
It's not a new thing. You know what I'm saying? But I found some other bits and bobs, but that's generally the general consensus, right? But then also there is the sort of bad side of it, right? And so when I looked online to see what people didn't like, it was a smorgasbord, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But people are saying it's got an over-the-top comedic tone. It's far too much a departure for the franchise. The shift in setting really upset fans, and that's what I'm saying. And there's no characterisation, but hey, we're not looking for that here. And that the cast are literally, some guy said on Reddit, unbearable.
I can totally see that. A lot of the students are very annoying.
Some Friday the 13th have more characterisation and depth than this. Depth isn't a word you're going to associate with this franchise, okay? But it's a fact, right? If you're thinking about Friday the 13th Part 3, the young lad who is the sort of guy who's the goofy one, who's playing all the practical jokes on everyone, and he is annoying, and nobody likes him because he keeps pulling stupid jokes on everyone, and they're all just like, oh, for God's sake, will you stop? And it's like, but you get a bit of depth in that because he's like, well, why does nobody like me and stuff? There's a little bit of stuff in there, and some of these movies have that. This film explores nobody's character.
No.
And not even a little bit.
No.
Not even a tiny bit.
Even our lead, Rowan, is
you know
not in it
nothing
that
about
much.
her. Nothing.
No. Nah.
Nothing. This film is paper thin in terms of any form of substance. Right?
It is.
And that's what people have definitely noticed. But my favourite comment comes from a Reddit user who said the following, and I was deed when I read it. Dude, no.
Just dude, no.
That's what he said.
Just dude,
That's
no.
what he's commented. There was a guy that was basically like, hear me out, like similar to the whole no but listen vibe. Hear me out. This is why Jason X was. Guy's just like, dude, no.
No. I also wonder, like, when there's not that character development there in this film. So this film is quite short.
Yeah.
At 1 hour 32 with a very long intro scene.
It is.
Very long. Like, as much as I joked earlier, it's probably about a good 3-4 minutes,
Yeah.
maybe. I think there's a lot of tax breaks you can get when something's classed as a feature film compared to like a TV special or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like a sci-fi movie, sci-fi SYFY.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if, that kind of trying to keep Jason in the consciousness but not want to spend too much money when Freddy versus Jason was on the horizon and trying to get money.
Sort of in the horizon.
Sort of on the horizon, yeah. So
really
I do
got any
wonder,
life in it, I think.
yeah, how dedicated the writing staff were to this project.
Kat, hit me with it. Let's do the trivia. I'm very excited. It's a movie I have loved forever, and as I've just literally ripped it rotten, but I do love it. So, hit me with it, Kat. Let's see. Really interested to learn some stuff.
Let me educate you on one of your favourite films.
You're going to educate me on horror stuff. Let's do this.
Just this film. Disclaimer.
Hey, it's going to happen every time. I didn't look at the trivia, so I like this bit.
So this film only suffered from a couple of seconds of cuts and alterations to earn it an R rating, making it the least censored entry in the entire Friday the 13th series.
Oh, cool. Maybe that's why the kills are so creative.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Maybe it's just a thought. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So Betsy Palmer was doing a play in Toronto at the time Jason X was filming. According to Palmer, one of the producers contacted her about possibly reprising her role as Pamela Voorhees, most likely in the Hollow simulation.
Okay, yeah.
They did not come to an agreement and the character was not included in the film.
So Pamela Voorhees is Jason's mother.
Yes, who prominently features in
the first instalment of the series, yes.
Yeah.
All about Pamela.
So they clearly had that idea, how I was talking about Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
They clearly had that idea and it just never worked out, sadly.
Well, this is the thing, we can talk about Pamela Voorhees, but this sounds ridiculous when we're talking about the 10th instalment in the series. But if people haven't seen the first Friday the 13th, I'm not about to spoil it for them right now.
No.
So I'm not going to say anything about the character.
Nope.
I'm leaving it there.
I think.
Those who are listening, who know the story, you know. I'm not going to go on about it. And if you've not seen original Friday the 13th, go and watch it now and then come back and listen to the rest of this episode.
Even if you don't watch the other ones in the series.
That's it. But you should, especially the third one.
Especially Jason X. So we chatted a lot about the music in this film, and the music that is played during Jason's first look at the virtual reality camp Crystal Lake is the same musical score as the one in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Manfredini. Excellent.
Indeed. So New Line Cinema loved the script of this film so much that they gave the film 3 times the budget of the most expensive previous film in the series, which had been Friday the 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan, which had a $5 million budget.
That's wild, eh?
Yeah, it's crazy how much more they did with less.
True. I don't remember Takes Manhattan that clearly.
It's a lot of boat action.
But it's a lot of it on a boat.
Yeah, it feels like, that fourth cruise that you can do under the bridges?
Yes.
It felt like it was being recorded on one of those.
So that was a very local thing.
Yeah, sorry.
Tourist thing. People do it from all over the world, come to our amazing city and go to the Firth of Forth, which is between here and the Kingdom of Fife, which is a little bit further north. And you can get a boat under the Forth Rail Bridge, which many people will be familiar with. But we've done that trip, and it is phenomenal. And I really want to do it again because it's been a few years.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I could do it every week, and I'd love it because it's such a beautiful thing to do.
Would really recommend it. It's
weather doesn't even have to be good. It's just brilliant to do. It's so much fun.
And I might have had a fever dream, but can you get off the boat onto an island full of gnomes?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right. So there is an island of gnomes.
Okay. That's a good start.
It's tight. It's not a big island. You can't get off onto it.
Okay.
But there is an island full of gnomes. I think it's called Shallow Craig.
Okay.
Or, this is funny, nicknamed Inchcombe Island.
Because there's an island called Inchcombe?
Yeah, there's an island there, a bigger one called Inchcombe, which you can actually get off and see. So Inchcombe is the
excellent
local term for the one that's full of gnomes. But no, it's a great trip.
It is very good.
But anyway, that's not the one Jason was on. He was on the Manhattan one.
He was on the way to Manhattan. So They had so much faith in this film, they gave it 3 times that, so about 15 million. However, during production, the budget still wasn't big enough to create many of the sets and effects they were looking for. So it meant the script had to be changed and a lot of bits were taken out completely.
Right, okay. It might explain some bits didn't really add up. You know what I'm saying?
And there's some bits that are covered very quickly.
Aye. I mean, you think the thing is, one of the most expensive things I imagine when making a film is time.
Yes.
Right? And so if you're taking too long to do stuff, you know, get it done quickly, get on to the next bit. You know what I'm saying? Because we've not got enough money to do this for much longer, you know, as well as to make it look any good.
Yeah, like this is good enough.
Yeah.
That'll do. The screenwriter Todd Farmer based much of the film on Alien, unsurprisingly. Even naming one of the characters, who he also played himself, Dallas, Stone Cold Steve Dallas.
Was that Todd Farmer?
Was Todd Farmer, yes. So he named Dallas after Tom Skerritt's character in the Ridley Scott film.
The original Alien movie, you know, it's a crew of people stuck on a ship with an entity that wants to kill them.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening here.
100%, you can totally see the influences. The film had actually completed its shooting and production in the year 2000, but due to issues with New Line Cinema, including a change in management, it was not widely released in theatres in Europe until summer of 2001, and then, as we said earlier, it was released in North America in 2002. It's those changes at the production studio, the staffing changes, seems to have caused a lot of delays.
Yeah, it's that thing, like I said earlier, it's like the fact that it was made around that time, a couple of years later, a lot of trends in that had changed.
Definitely.
But that's wild, that's how fast trends were moving. Whereas now you could release another Friday the 13th movie, and I think it would probably do pretty well.
I think you're right.
Because there's a huge following. There's probably a bigger following now than there was then.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would do really, really well, which is wild. So the trends were moving fast then, arguably faster than they do now. Trends do come and go very quickly now. But if you make a horror movie with one of those guys in it, people are going to turn out to see it.
That's true. Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, funnily enough, Uber Jason, along with the Grendel map.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's what they call him, and he's credited as Uber Jason.
He is. Sorry, yeah, we should have mentioned that. Very unusual choice. But...
Didn't get that when we ordered our McDonald's and Uber Eats the other night. Yeah?
Sorry, I'll give him a wee kiss. With his pouty mask on.
I'd like to say to his heat and be like, "You taste like Lauren."
God, no, I'll be taking you straight to the infectious disease unit. Okay. So Uber Jason and the Grendel map were going to be added to the Friday the 13th game. So as you say, like try to keep it like the trends and stuff, like it was obviously popular enough to do a game about it. Yeah,
but I wonder though, because yeah, that's right, because the Friday the 13th game is now dead, actually.
It is, yeah.
But you basically, I think the game took the form of you were a group of people and someone else was Jason.
That's right.
But I mean, I never played the game, but it's a weird one, but it's a cool idea. So there's obviously, like you say, the game was quite popular.
So as you say, the game is no longer very popular.
No.
It was popular. And I suspect this is because there's a lawsuit in place actually between the original Friday the 13th writer Victor Miller and Gun Media. All future updates except for bug fixes have been cancelled, and it's not known whether once the lawsuit is settled whether there will ever be any additions to the game.
I saw a reel the other day which was actually a list of games that are dead. So games that you can no longer play at all, like Flappy Bird. Remember that?
Yeah, God, Flappy Bird was everywhere.
The guy that made Flappy Bird was like, I feel like people are playing it too much, and he shut it down. Right? And weird, but it's a fact. He was like, nah, you wouldn't have Eric Baroni doing that because he kens I need my Stardew Valley time. He's a good guy. But the Friday the 13th game was on that list of games that you can no longer play now, and that'll be why.
That will be why.
But speaking of Friday the 13th games, there was one in 1989 for the NES.
Ah, cool.
And you played the camp counsellors.
Oh, right. Okay, that's unusual.
Going, like,
you've got to try on a steak.
Aye. But it was a NES game, and I've certainly seen a lot of footage and stuff of it.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. So it's not a new, it's not a new thing. It was one ages ago.
Very cool. And our last bit of trivia is that Jason being blasted to pieces by KM-14 and reanimating into Uber Jason through nanotechnology was meant to be a plot twist revealed in the third act. But many fans had already learned this information through the official Friday the 13th internet forum, and later, all of the marketing and trailers immediately spoiled this fact. Even the theatrical posters gave it away.
Aye, the theatrical poster's like Jason and he's got a knife or his machete, and then one side he's old-timey Jason. And the other side is Uber Jason. Yeah.
So clearly not a well joined together plan to keep this a secret then.
No, it's wild, eh?
That describes this film in general.
Dearie me. Interesting stuff though, Kat.
I thought so too.
So not since a Goofy movie, which was episode 6 in this season, have we had a Wilhelm scream.
I thought they'd be a lot more ubiquitous than they are.
Well, it doesn't change here because we didn't get one here either.
Rats.
Favourite line, Kat? Have you got one line, the ones that we've spoke about, or ones that you'd written down that you'd like to highlight as your favourite?
I think the one that I'll remember from this movie is he's screwed.
Sarge, we found Condor.
What's his condition?
He's screwed.
It's definitely one people remember, I think, isn't it?
It has to be. And it's just, his delivery was weird.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. And yeah, it's an iconic kill with such a unemotive delivery of the discovery.
Aye.
What about you, Mikey?
Well, for me, I'm definitely not picking that stupid line about "he just wants his machete back," or the other stupid one I hate where he's like, "That ought to do it." They do make me laugh now, especially the "that ought to do it" one, but the "just wants his machete back" one made me always think as a kid, "You're an arse," and that's not really changed. For me, it's either the hockey mask one, because it's the idea of hockey being outlawed last year in 2024 makes me laugh. But I think my absolute favourite has to be the mention of the Microsoft conflict and how bad the Microsoft conflict clearly was. You're lucky you weren't alive during the Microsoft conflict. Hell, we were beating each other with our own severed limbs. Wow.
Bizarre. So bizarre. There were some classic lines in this film, though.
There's some great ones, but the Microsoft conflict thing, it was definitely them just, at this point, just having an absolute piss take with the script.
They were, and I think that's the point I started to enjoy it more.
Because you realise they're taking the total piss. Why the hell do you think they're in space? It's like, why the hell do you think that Jason gets this mad upgrade? This was absolutely fucking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
But they knew what they were doing when they did it. Do you know what I'm saying?
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
I think they did, and I think that's definitely something I've read when I'm looking through this, is that
I think you're
people say
right.
self-aware. Do you know what? Just thinking about that new, it's sort of made me change my opinion. I was going to say that in this film and rip on it, but you know, it does definitely know what it was doing.
I think it does, yeah.
Favourite sound, Kat? Did you have a sound that stood out to you in this movie? I had a couple, actually.
I've got a stone cold favourite.
Oh, aye.
And it's the sound of Jason sitting up after he's thawed out sufficiently. Like, this is what we're talking about when we say like TV movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is not Manfredini's finest work, and if I'm correct in saying this, I feel that Manfredini's made this soundtrack himself with a keyboard. It was cheap. And that's what I'm saying. This film really does come across as cheap. So whilst I can sit here and say to you, oh, they knew exactly what they were making, also didn't insult us by no putting any effort in.
Absolutely.
You can make a film in space and it can be ridiculous and stupid, but it looks cheap and it sounds cheap and everything about it is cheap and we can see it's fucking cheap. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think there has been effort put into it, though. Like, when you look at the effects and when you look at...
They've tried.
Yeah, they have tried.
So I've got I'm no kidding, right? I've got 3 sounds that I liked in this movie.
Wow, okay.
Firstly, it's Rowan waking up and slapping Lo across the face.
He deserved it.
He did, but because he 100% deserves it. Brilliant. It's the little screaming, just a scalp. It's great. One that was actually in one of our sound bites earlier on is the gun sound, because they're like futuristic guns, apparently.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a good gun sound.
Yeah. And my favourite one, for sure, actually, is the sound of Adrienne's face getting smashed off the counter.
Nice. It's quite...
And all the splattery, shattery... We've got bits of ice, we've got bits of blood and brains splattering on the floor. It's great.
Blah, yuck. Clean up on aisle 3.
And they could have said the film in the film, but they didn't, because they could have just went, oh my God, it's Jason X, when he got upgraded.
They could have. But
Sorry,
I'm glad
uploaded.
Upload, yeah, he got his big upload. I'm glad they didn't. That would have been way too far.
But, Kat, didn't even. How can you say something like that would be way too far after we've just talked about what we've talked about?
I know. But I think it would have just tipped it over the edge. Like, it was already teetering. It's already pretty much careening over. No. Mikey, we know this is a masterpiece, but what do other people think? Give me some reviews.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, these are the audience reviews specifically from Rotten Tomatoes. Not the critic reviews, the audience reviews. Because that's where the fun's at. Right, the first person says, and it's quite short, but pretty much gets in a nutshell, worst in the franchise, absolute dog shit.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Absolute dog shit.
It's the fact it's not even just shit.
It's the fact they felt so strongly. I'm going to go and put my review up. There's a couple of words, but that just gets the point across. We know what this person thinks.
Yep.
And many others probably. The next person goes on a wee bit more, thankfully. Friday the 13th and Far Future Together. That's again, sorry, I normally say, I'm reading these verbatim. This is as they're written, okay? Yeah, that sucks. Movie is lame and campy. No actual plot going on. Funny how the story is set in the future, but there's the same old tropes of sex and hack and slash. Not to mention, Jason's design by the end of the film sucks. They killed Jason off by the end, alongside with the series. Butchered.
Wow, okay, they didn't hold back, did they?
They didn't really. I think they were so angry that they didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
so
no bother with.
That was a bit of a challenge to get through, I'm not going to lie. One of those ones.
You did very well.
Alright, well the next one's great and probably my favourite. Why? Who? What? Space? And then there's just a little emoji of a pin.
Wow, okay. I like an emoji.
Yeah,
so,
emoji in a review. Let's get my name in. I like that.
Was this me? Did I go into a fugue state at the end of this movie?
Why? Who? Space? That's you doing your review in your sleep.
With a bin.
The next one says, this is probably the third worst Friday film.
Oh, right, third worst, okay.
The effects are at least passable, especially the frozen face kill. I'd much rather watch parts 4 to 7 than watch this, but it was okay.
Okay.
So they're giving it a good 55%.
That's not bad.
I don't know, that's what it sounds like. Our next reviewer says, very rewatchable. Well, somebody who likes it, finally. Highest praise you can give to something in this franchise, and yet I still find myself defending this movie because it really is that good. Okay, let's see where this goes. Easily the best in-space movie from any horror franchise. Arguably the best kill of the franchise too. Turn this one on while you drink and smoke with the boys, and you'll have a great time.
Okay, fair.
Turn it on while you have a wee drink and a smoke with the boys. What's that about?
Yeah, that is a bit weird. But yeah, but...
Also, he says arguably the best kill of any... doesn't he say what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume he's talking about the frozen face one.
I also assume it's the frozen face. But yeah, easily the best space movie from a horror franchise. Might be correct.
Nah, Bloodline's better than this.
Do you think so?
Way better than this. Okay. Bloodline has a lot going on. There's a lot of story. There's a lot of history of the puzzle box. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of that. There's new Cenobites. There's there's a lot going on. And I understand the movie's shortcomings, Bloodline, but it's better than this movie.
Yeah.
For damn sure.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Our next person says, this is the craziest film I have seen up to this point. I think I mean up to this point in their life.
I think they do.
Up to this point, and fits perfectly into the Friday and Jason series. This would be a perfect conclusion to the Jason series. That is how delightfully crazy it was. I do, however, feel it missed the mark, being both too tame and too small in scope. I mean, it's crazy, but for what this movie was going for, they should have gone all out. It would have been great if they used the hologram stuff or the robot stuff more, because the beginning is just another Jason movie, and I would have loved Crazy from the very start.
I think this kind of echoes my feelings.
It's true, but you got to set it up, man. You can't
do.
just go, oh, he's in space now and he's an Uber robot, and then that's the rest of the movie. You can't.
Can you not?
Probably. You can. There's no rules. All right? There are no rules.
Yeah, when it started to get proper sci-fi, when they really leaned into sci-fi is when I started to enjoy it more. But I did enjoy some sort of classic Jason kind of stalking his prey.
You can't say it doesn't lean into sci-fi when at the start they're on an Earth that is a wasteland and they're opening up a cryogenically frozen pod and then taking her onto a spaceship. That's about as sci-fi as it gets. That's
true. But the bit from Jason sitting up to Uber Jason.
Oh yeah, that bit in the movie, you're right, yeah, there's not
there's
a lot.
Very little
they're
sci-fi.
just on a spaceship and therefore, yeah, there's a Solaris section that kind of reminds you that there's some, that they're in space.
For all intents and purposes, for parts of it, they could have been in a warehouse.
Aye. To be honest, it looks like a lot of it is in a warehouse. So our last reviewer says, I'm sorry, but this movie is delightfully trash. I laughed at way too many points in this horror film. The bad story dialogue and script almost seem like a film that tried to do this on purpose. I actually had so much fun watching this horrible movie.
Oh, a person after their own hearts.
Okay, what do they mean by story dialogue? Are they referring to dialogue that specifically relates to telling the story?
Yeah, I think it just means dialogue in general.
Right.
That's what I took from it.
It's pretty much the way we've looked at it too, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you can just enjoy a bit of trash.
It isn't scary. It's not a horror film. And they're absolutely right to put, by the way, horror in inverted commas because it's not a horror film.
Nah.
It is a slasher.
Yeah.
But somehow they've managed to make a slasher that is not a horror film. Mm-hmm. Although, it does fall under the horror banner.
It does.
And sci-fi.
Yeah.
And just generally quite shite. Okay, Kat, I suspect I know what your answer will be to this. Jason X. Is Jason X rotten? Or is it fresh?
I've got a really difficult situation I'm in where before we started recording I would have 100% said rotten.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But the more we've talked about it, the more I've been like, actually, it was quite good fun.
Right. I 100% agree with this sentiment.
I think I'm going to have to still say it's rotten, but I like it.
Yes, absolutely. So, taking into account our rankings from last week and introduced a new category just for Twilight, which was rank rotten, which I feel that Forever My Girl falls under too. Right.
Yeah, sorry for my girl.
But this isn't rank rotten, but it is a rotten film. And I can't say this is fresh. I said to you, I've said a few times now, I had a hard time saying that Van Helsing, I had an easy time saying Van Helsing was fresh, but then I considered it and I'm like, is it though? It's quite rotten. Mm-hmm. But nah, Jason X is a rotten film, but I will never stop watching it because it's fun and silly. But obviously, if I'm going to watch a Friday the 13th film, when I was a kid, I would have charged towards this one first, quite honestly.
I can see why.
It's so entertaining, man.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to charge to part 3. Generally is one of my favourites. And I like some of the other ones too. I liked part 7 with the telekinetic girl. But nah, it's rotten.
It is. There's no denying it.
There's no denying it. Nope. Not even a little bit. Hey, but if you disagree with our sentiment, please do say.
I think you've said this a number of times throughout, but I take it you would watch this again?
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay. I'm not sure I'm quite that keen, but I would definitely watch it again.
Kat, do you care to tell the listeners what the movie we're covering next week is?
As a kind of celebration before we go into a break between sections of our season, we are going to cover a 0% film.
Yeah, we decided to do this on occasion just because, and it's a bit of a special thing because there are 0% films out there.
Yeah.
But, it's fun to save them.
Yes, absolutely. There's not a whole ton of them. Yeah. There are some, they're more than you think. But the one that we are covering next week is Problem Child.
Yep. Now, have you seen it?
I have never seen it.
I saw Problem Child when I was a young kid because my nana had got it somehow. She taped it, or it was on TV. I remember sitting and watching Problem Child.
Cool.
And just me and my brother, I think it was Problem Child 2 though.
Oh, okay.
And me and my brother were just poorless.
Okay.
Because we were children. Now, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it this time round. But I do know that it has John Ritter. Our guy John Ritter from 8 Simple Rules, many other movies, including Bad Santa, he's in at one point as well.
I love John Ritter.
John Ritter was a great guy, brilliant man, and funny as hell. So, but I don't think this is going to be his time to shine, unfortunately.
I don't think so.
8 Simple Rules, though.
Very good in that.
Aye. But no, Problem Child next week, and that'll be our wee sort of mid-season finale, is that a thing? That's what they call it on TV, is it, no?
Yeah, why not? We can call it whatever we like.
Mid-season finale.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a wee break. But I'm excited. Problem Child.
It'll be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be... No, it's not going to be good. It's going to be terrible.
It's going to be absolutely terrible.
I mean, I think to say something is a 0% film likely means that it's an objectively terrible film.
Yeah.
But who knows? So that's why we're going to watch it.
Well, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. So we'll find out when we watch it.
So anyway, tune in next week for that. Well, thanks for listening to this episode.
We're just a small podcast. It's just our little hobby. So we know it's a wee man club sort of thing.
Wee Guy Club.
The Wee Guy Club. So if you were able to leave us a review or a rating on either Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, we would really appreciate it.
If you're a Rank Rotten fan, you're a member of the Wee Guy Club now. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yep, it's official. And especially if you've made it to episode 11.
Aye. I mean, you didn't have to, I can't stress enough, guys, you didn't have to listen to every episode, all right?
But we do appreciate that
if you're tuning in at all to listen to any episodes, I appreciate it. It means loads to us. It's class.
It really does. And also, if you've got any feedback about what you like, about what you don't like, and any recommendations for films that we could look at in future.
Or if you just want to say hello.
Yeah, we love a little hello. How can people reach us, Mikey? What's the email address?
You can email us at rankrottenpod@gmail.com. That's rankrottenpod@gmail.com.
Very nice. And also, we're quite active on Instagram, and that's at rankrottenpod.
And it's the same on Threads.
It is indeed.
Yeah, on the Instagram, we post a little clip of the upcoming episode on the Monday for the Friday. So, and we're actually now, I'm getting into posting memes and reels of the movie that we've been talking about that week. On our Instagram page, there's a little highlight thing you can now tap on. It has a little collection of the memes and reels that we've posted so far, and I think I'm going to keep doing that because it's quite fun.
Yeah, I love them. And also because we're doing research on the movies throughout the week, it kind of screws our algorithm.
Aye.
So we get
so
them
we start
regardless.
getting them anyway. But I can't, my phone will not stop lighting up with Twilight ones.
Oh, there's so many good Twilight ones.
Honestly, it's mental, eh?
It adds an extra layer to my love of Twilight.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for Problem Child. Here's a Problem Child. Is that not an AC/DC song?
I don't know.
It probably is, and if it's no, I'm going to look like a dafty.
Well,
Don't even care.
yeah, you are the problem child.
I am the problem child. I probably was the problem child. You ask my mother, she'll probably tell you that.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.